heated tube.
All right, we should be live right now.
I do not see it yet, but it's possible it'll take. Oh, there we go. Now I see it.
Hello.
Hey,
Mole,
everybody.
mole.
Oh my goodness.
We're
Are we live?
live.
Hello, we're live, I think.
Whoa.
It's my long-awaited return, for which actually the videos probably haven't caught up with yet.
We haven't released a video in a month, Alex. We're on
No, we
hiatus.
haven't.
There's not even well, I thought I was absent from some recordings. Am I?
I
You
think they were
were.
all things that were happening that were releasing post hiatus.
I see.
Yeah.
Embarrassing for me.
Yes.
Hello,
We have
everybody.
one person
coming
watching.
in.
Yes, I see a chat. No, I see one concurrent viewer. So thank you.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting some chats.
Yes,
Hello,
we're getting some
everyone.
chats coming
I don't
in.
know
So I
what the
want to
delay
take
is.
this moment to welcome all of you. It's good to see you. We've been gone for a little while. Thank you for understanding that we needed to take a little hiatus to get caught up. There's a tripod behind me. You know what that means? It means we're working
It's
on
the War of the
stuff.
Worlds.
It's the War of the
The
World.
War of the Worlds.
Yes.
I've declared this War of the Worlds.
I've declared this War of the Worlds, sponsored by Amazon.
That's a lot. What a film. Also, I've heard, James, that our friend Armida and Lisa may be watching our live stream.
Oh, no.
I know when they told me that they watched previous live streams, that's what I said.
Oh, no.
So maybe they're in chat.
Yes. Well, if you're here, hey, I'm mortified. But anyway, we really appreciate you guys bearing with us during the hiatus. We're preparing all sorts of videos. We're very excited about them. We've recorded a few of them already. We've got them kind of in the editing pipeline in various places. This tripod behind me, actually, you can't see it, but there's a very fancy camera on top of it. And we're doing the kind of video where I stand and yell at a camera for about an hour, because people seem to like that. There might be other graphics. It might not just be just me yelling into a camera. We'll find out. Anyway, yeah. Well, I didn't go to film school. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So, oh God, I forgot to turn off the day-night cycle on Prehistoric Kingdom. So, why are we here today? Why did we take a break from our hiatus? Well, we are streaming to support a few worthy causes in vertebrate paleontology, and so we've turned off super chats on the stream, and neither of these QR codes should direct to our PayPal. If one does, that's a mistake, and you need to tell me that before everybody just starts funneling money toward our PayPal accidentally. But I set these up just a few minutes ago, so I'm almost certain I didn't mess it up royally. So we're fundraising for two things, and I just want to talk about them both right now. We're going to mention them again and again throughout the chat, or throughout the stream. First,
To you, chat.
exactly, to the chat. So we initially planned this stream because we got contacted by a team of scientists who are organizing a special issue in the journal Paleontological Electronica about the paleobiology and evolution of diplodocoid sauropod dinosaurs. So these are dinosaurs like Diplodocus and Barosaurus and Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus. We all love them. We all want to know more about them.
We do.
But one of the unfortunate realities that many people don't know is that publishing in a scientific journal costs money.
Yep.
It's a rare field in which when you get something you wrote published, they don't pay you to publish it. You pay them to publish it. And I'm being kind of glib here because these journals are not like, well, the journals are actually usually big business, but Paleontological Electronica is not. And it actually does cost money to run the journal, right? There's server space, there are printing charges, there are editors and people who handle things that need to be paid for their work. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Open access is generally much more expensive than other forms of publishing. Whenever I can, I publish open access, but I can't always do that. And for this Sauropod special issue to be published, they have organized a fundraiser on experiment.com. Now that's great. They actually, before we started the stream, reached their first goal. So that's fantastic. And I want to thank you all for telepathically sensing that we would do this stream and encourage you to donate, and just donating anyway. We'll be taking credit for the success, is what I'm saying.
As
That
is right,
said,
as is just.
Experiment.com is beneficial, and I'm certainly keeping track of this information for later in my own career. Experiment will let you get more money than what you've initially asked for if you get enough donors to support it. And in this case, what the organizers of this fundraiser have told me they want to do is use any additional money that they have to commission paleo artists to make pieces supporting the special issue of the journal article. So, or the special issue of the journal. So, paleo artists, are worth supporting, right? We love many paleo artists. I don't know who they're actually planning on commissioning, but it doesn't really matter. We would like them to have the ability to commission some folks to make the kind of art that they like making and that they should be duly compensated for making. And so, for your awareness, that's what future donations to the Diplodocoid Sauropod special issue will be supporting. It's supporting the paleo art community to generate some commissioned art pieces to support what should be an amazing, amazing volume that really helps increase our understanding of sauropod dinosaurs. I'm going to turn down the potentially glibness of my usual narration because the other fundraiser is quite a bit more somber. Mongolian paleontologist Kishigov Sokbatar is very, very critically ill with cancer, and his family have organized a GoFundMe to try to help them cover the costs of his medical care. His treatments are going to be very, very expensive. It's going to be very difficult for his family.
Oh, yeah.
His son, Sokbatar Chinzorig, is a former lab mate of mine. He's also a paleontologist. I think Chinzo was recently the lead author of the Zavacephaly paper. Correct? I think Chinzo was.
I think that was Chinzo's.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I know Chinzo. I think Chinzo found the specimen. I'm like 99% confident he's lead author. Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
he is.
So like Chinzo's a fantastic guy. Alex and I are working with him on some stuff right now. He's a great paleontologist. His dad is a legendary paleontologist. He's contributed to the discovery of so many important fossils in Mongolia. He spent many years as the head of the Mongolian Paleontological Center at the Mongolian Academy of Sciences. He's really an amazing guy, a legend in the field, and we want to do everything that we can to help his family cover the costs of his care and make things, as easy for the family as we can in this really difficult time. So any donations there are going to be going directly to covering the costs of Dr. Sokbatar's medical care. They have been getting a tremendous number of donations. I have not donated yet. Dalton, I saw that you donated.
I did donate, yes.
Which I say just to encourage everybody to do so. I have not yet donated, but I will. Not during the stream because I'll probably read my credit card number out loud or something and then get doxxed. So
Please post your.
I think that we just
your
call that
bank
identity
routing
theft.
number.
Is it identity theft? I don't know. Listen. That's old hat, right? But I will be donating to it. They have gone way above and beyond what they had initially been hoping to get, and every dollar is going to count because each round of his treatment is going to cost several $1,000s, and I think they said there need to be 13 treatments.
God,
I don't have the description up in front of me right now, but like if you go there and you see there's already a lot of money, just know more money is always going to be helpful. It is going to go to what you're donating it for. And so with all of that, I just want to say thank you all for coming to the stream. We know it was a little bit last minute. We know we haven't been around a lot recently. So thank you everybody for being here. And no money our way. So nothing to our PayPal if you have that link. Don't send money there. We don't want to see it right now. And no super chats. We've turned them off on the channel for tonight, just in case anybody forgets. Because if you have anything to spare, we respectfully ask that you dedicate it to one of these two causes that we're promoting here today.
Thank you, Milo, for the donation.
Yes. Thank you so much, Milo. And yes,
you.
please, if you do donate while you're watching, sound off in the chat so we can thank you accordingly, because we don't have any of those indicators that'll pop up and say your name and play a sound or anything like that. We can't set those up for fundraisers. We didn't organize. So, with that stated, why are we staring at a static image of a video game? It's because my graphics card is bad, and this is what we're going to look at.
Because we're the skeletons.
Every 5 minutes, a new frame will generate.
Yes. No, I got a new graphics card a while ago, and I think we're going to successfely stream Prehistoric Kingdom. I think it's happening. I remember what happened last time. I got made fun of by everybody. I've actually been playing this game a little bit when I have free time, And so I
You
should
have
be
that?
maybe not humiliating while I do it.
How we know he has
Oh,
a
and thank you, Milo, for your
job.
donation to the Sauropod volume. I know you donated before the stream, but thank you anyway. Or thank you regardless, I should say. So, we're going to be playing Prehistoric Kingdom because we want to promote these 2 fundraisers. And so, in honor of what the fundraisers are, we're going to build 2 exhibits together. I will be taking comments from the Peanut Gallery, by which I mostly mean my friends on the channel, but I also mean the chat. So any recommendations you have are any recommendations you have for what we do with these exhibits, please feel free to send them our way.
Hello, Prehistoric
Hello,
Kingdom.
Prehistoric Kingdom.
Hello, Prehistoric Kingdom.
Hello, Prehistoric Kingdom. Yeah, we'll do that. Hey, can somebody who
100%.
isn't running the stream tweet these stream and fundraiser details out?
Wait, they said, yeah, they can retweet the post. Do
Thank
we
you.
have a post?
We do not currently have a post, but we will
I
have
thought
a
we-
post shortly.
Yes, we do. We have
Yes, we
posts
do.
on Blue Sky and Twitter. Instagram, I made a story, but we didn't have any images, so I was
Oh,
unable to.
I'm sorry.
do
I
more
thought
than
I
that.
thought you would. I thought when I read your message, I thought you had left out Twitter. I thought you just weren't going to use that account anymore.
No,
Okay.
I just edited it down.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yes, we do have a
I can
tweet.
add the link.
Yeah,
to
let's put the
this.
links in
Yeah.
the.
And hello, Prehistoric Kingdom. I just want to say, big fan.
Big fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big fans.
Yes. This is a.
It's a
It's a great game you've made.
It's an amazing
cool game you
you've
got
made.
there.
Yes.
It could, if you guys are watching, use some more small Morrison theropods, which I'd be happy to talk with you about.
And if you ever want like a bug house, but for little reptiles,
All right, Dalton.
Nelly.
Dalton, the adults are speaking.
Listen, I'm a greedy boy.
Just kidding. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. So I should probably build like a path or something.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Also, again, genuinely super cool that you guys are here. Love the game. It's a blast. I always think it's fun whenever the new devlogs come out, and it's whoever didn't have anything going the soonest, just summarizing and sending images of everything that's in it to us as we're all just like fawning over it.
Yes.
I like
Immediate.
Simasukas a lot.
Yeah.
He looks very good. It all looks very good.
Yeah, you've really not only like I'm a big park builder fan in general. They were always my favorite game when I was growing up, and they're still something I really enjoy. And I just also find it really kind of amazing that you guys have managed to not only put really, really, really well informed and beautifully designed dinosaurs into a park builder, but you've also managed to build a really good park builder to have those dinosaurs in. And that is a rare feat. So you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for supporting the stream and trying to bring some eyes to it. We couldn't thank you enough.
One of my dreams is once I've finished defending to have a gaming PC so I can play this game.
You should.
It sure would be cool. That'll be our next fundraiser.
Is by Alex. again,
Buy Alex a
obviously.
gaming PC.
Yeah.
If
Listen,
Alex,
the-
if one of your species that you name gets added to Prehistoric Kingdom, I will buy you a gaming PC myself.
See,
Okay.
what,
That seemed
Stretch goal.
But
what we need to do is we need to start an arms race between who can release the Skeleton Crew DLC faster, Prehistoric Kingdom or Jurassic World Evolution 3.
Jurassic World Evolution has no interest in doing that whatsoever.
Of course they do. What are you talking about? We're their number one creators.
Right.
good
We are,
stuff.
and we. Anyway,
James, are we starting with the Morrison or are we starting with
well, what I was going to do was use this oasis here as kind of the basis of a Nemect enclosure.
Okay.
Because this is probably in spirit the right kind of vibe, like the semi-arid oasis. It's more rivery, but I think an oasis will do for an exhibit. And then I was going to have the Morrison exist on this side with the enormous expanse of flat. That
Yeah,
was
fair
the
enough.
idea.
Which Namek creatures do we have in the game currently?
Tarbosaurus,
Mm-hmm.
Dinocyrus, Gallimimus.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Gallimimus just got added.
Gallimimus got added, and it is incredibly upsetting. Oh, I don't have a hatchery, so I should probably build that.
Why no dinosaurs?
So why is Gallimimus upsetting?
It's just so big. It's really,
It's so
it's a big
big.
animal.
big. But what I'm going to do is, I don't personally support this hypothesis, but for the purpose of gameplay, I support this hypothesis, which is that I'm going to have an environment transition kind of enclosure where we go, or it's made to look like it's one enclosure. It's obviously multiple, but it goes from being like the Nemet Oasis to the Jadakta Dune Sea kind of environment, because
Oh,
the
nice.
hypothesis exists that what we see in these formations is actually just like all lateral equivalents, right? So that they're all the same time and we're just seeing different environments and capturing the animals that happen to live in that microenvironment at the same time. I don't personally subscribe to this idea, just to be clear, but it's great for gameplay because it means we get to make a super enclosure with all of the things that lived or that were discovered in the Gobi Desert.
Very cool.
Yes. Dalton, we've got a question about sauropod paleo environments, and given that you know things about the Morrison formation, perhaps you could take this.
I can take it. Is Riley's question?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so Riley is asking, would we say sauropods as a whole were more arid desert animals or more forest, wetlands, plains animals?
Yes.
And to that, I think the group sauropod is broad enough that the answer is yes. There were probably sauropods that did most things, provided there was enough food. Like, I don't think that there were any sauropods that would be specialized for, like, the deep Arakan deserts. But I think basically
A
anywhere you
limbless
would...
sauropod.
Yeah, anywhere you would find, like, large mammals today or in, like, the very recent, like, past, like, Pliocene, Pleistocene, are environments where you probably would find different species of sauropods. And we're obviously going to be limited, right, in that the sauropods we're finding are ones that lived and died in places that preserve fossils.
Mm-hmm.
There are very likely, well, there is like with 100% certainty species of sauropod that existed that we'll never know about. Very possibly even large clades that could be specialized in ways we don't know about that could have existed. The sauropods that we've found, I don't know if I would think of characterizing them as particular environment specialists necessarily.
Minus a couple individual.
Yeah, sure. Like here and there, perhaps. Like
Nigersaurus is
yeah.
yeah.
But like, you know, Diplodocus and like Brachiosaurus and stuff. I mean, we have, I think, good reason to suspect they were eating different kinds of plants, and their feeding envelopes were operating in different regions of like the kind of plant environment. But if it was to then say like, oh, you know, Diplodocus is eating lower to the ground plants and also plants that we find in more semi-arid regions compared to like a more wetland forest, I'm not confident enough to say that that we would know that.
I think
Maybe
that's a fine answer.
Maybe a sauropod specialist would probably a sauropod specialist would have a bit more to say on that. But hopefully
I mean,
that
to contribute in a small, I actually don't. I think they're probably not living much in like an actual, like Dalton said, an Arakan desert,
No.
right? Like they need to feed, and even like where there are big mammals in like modern, more arid environments like grasslands. The caveat there is that there's a lot of grass that they can eat, and like, you know, like the Morrison is I know often reconstructed as quite dry, which it is. You know, it's semi-arid in spots, and there are a lot of ephemeral lakes, which is where a lot of cool stuff ends up fossilizing. But there are also like coal seams. Like there's plenty of food for these big friends.
Milo's clarifies or adds on, or is excuse me, I can read. Riley mentions to Milo that
Show off.
Hey,
Riley was thinking of like places that we see them depicted in certain documentaries and stuff, like Prehistoric Planet and Walking with Dinosaurs, and if that correlates to kind of where they've been found. And to that, I would say not necessarily, right?
Yes.
And in part, that is simply because it's easier to animate them in open areas versus heavily wooded areas.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to simulate them knocking down all of the trees around them.
In my mind, a lot of sauropods probably lived a whole lot more. Like, even if we are to use prehistoric prehistoric planet as an example would have lived a whole lot more like the oh god, what is it? Australotitan that they show in there for a brief section
Yes,
in the
and
first
that
one.
is stunning, isn't it? Seeing it actually in the
Yeah.
forest, and then they're like, okay, all right, the computer is on fire.
Yeah, or Ostratitan or whichever one that is. It's a titanosaur where they have like a couple of them going through a forest, knocking over trees. And they are absolutely stunning, and they just look like living tree trunks just walking through there. It's rad. Um, in my opinion, that like that and more like kind of open environments are what open but lush environments are what sauropods were mostly living in. Like I would imagine like this is me entirely spitballing here, but I would imagine that like sauropods that would be more like strongly specialized would be smaller ones. I think that once you get to like a huge body size, you're kind of locking yourself into being a generalist in some way.
Well, I think in that way you're specializing for being big, which
Well,
is just
yes,
being able to
yes.
move around and eat as much as you can all the time.
Yes, I guess like like an individual food or a niche specialist would
That'd be
be
hard.
harder
Yeah.
as something that's that enormous.
And we've had another question, and I've lost it, but I'm gonna come back to it. It's about keeping sauropods in captivity. It's pertinent to what we're going to be doing here. Zip, 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 zip. Where did you go?
Was it about the washing sauropods one?
No, but I like the idea of washing a sauropod. Oh my gosh, what happened? Well, I'm going to paraphrase it, and unfortunately, I don't remember who asked it. So if you would just kind of chime up again in chat.
Yes, sound
But
off.
someone was asking, how feasible would it be to keep a sauropod in captivity? Could we meet their needs, or would they face issues with having space requirements and food requirements like elephants do today? And I mean, definitely
Well, yeah,
there would be issues.
it wouldn't be easy.
It would certainly not be easy, to the point where I don't know if it would be possible.
You'd probably keep a small one.
I bet that if like I would probably say yes. You could keep a sauropod, even a large sauropod, in captivity, but it would be captivity that probably wouldn't be the most exciting for people to come and visit because it would be an absolutely enormous area.
Be like a preserve.
Be
Yeah.
basically a preserve. Or it would essentially be if you want to keep a sauropod in an area that is like, let's even say like a couple animals in a like San Diego safari park size enclosure. Oh, hello, significantly smaller creature. I think that like it would be logistically an absolute nightmare and would be incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
Just absolutely insane.
I do think that they're probably not behaviorally complex enough that they'd have the exact same issues elephants have.
That's true. I don't think we'd have to worry about, their family dynamics.
Right. They're not.
Yeah.
There's not that much going on up there, right?
I could picture a scenario,
Elwood, don't eat my halal.
and this scenario do not eat my in this scenario would require, living sauropods to just kind of be around as opposed to cloning them per se.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it's kind of like how we just cannot, at least currently, keep great white sharks in captivity. But every once in a while, the Monterey Bay Aquarium will keep a really young one for like a year or two and then release it back into the wild. And that would be something that zoos could feasibly do, right? Is
Yeah.
like if there is an injured baby sauropod, take it until it's like maybe even elephant sized or more, and then when they just don't have the space for it.
Two things. One, thank you very much, Prehistoric Kingdom, for
Yes.
for posting and retweeting. We really appreciate the support and love the game. It's awesome that you guys are here. And the second thing is Paleo Nerd said worst case is SeaWorld, but with sauropods instead of orcas. I don't think so. Again, because of what James said. I don't think that I don't think a sauropod is emotionally and socially complex enough to develop an actual like genuine out of malice hatred for the conditions that it's kept in.
I think it's gonna like I think it's more of a question of how do you move that much feces.
It's how do you move that much feces and how do you keep that much greenery going into that into that mouth?
Joshua
It might be, yeah.
proposes
Oh,
the
sorry.
Europasaurus route, which I think is the way you'd have to do it. Is
Yeah.
like that's a great size.
Yeah, you'd probably have like, it's what was I gonna say? There's something I was thinking of. Well, I guess like aquariums always having California sea lions because like most pinniped like them and harbor seals and gray seals, like a lot of pinnipeds are either too large or like don't do well enough. I could imagine that everywhere has a sauropod and it's always Europasaurus.
Yeah. Or like basically to keep the aquarium analogy going, the other one that I'm thinking of is like something like the Georgia Aquarium. When I've heard that like just a lot of the logistical considerations for how that place runs is like we're keeping these whale sharks alive.
Mm-hmm.
James, how you doing with these buildings?
I'm trying to place the concrete slabs so that they line. Fuck it. I don't care. It's fine. Just, you know what?
You're doing a fine job.
It's going here. That's where it's going. We'll make the plaza look pretty eventually. Maybe.
It's what's the thing that's been going around a whole bunch recently? Make it exist first, make it good later.
I don't believe
You mean how to write a dissertation?
Yeah.
How to do anything.
Well, yes, genuinely. I do like Swamp Ape's point here of like imagine you're keeping sauropods and you're doing well, and then they lay eggs, and then you just have dozens of babies running around one day, and you just didn't notice.
Now, see, that sounds like a bad thing, but I think it'd be a cool thing because then there'd be lots of baby sauropods, and I do think I would like to encounter those and grab them.
Yeah.
And just kind of carry them around because I think they'd be very cute.
Well,
Maybe
there's
sauropods is like they're
Go on.
adorable, but it for me strikes the same like baby sea turtles thing where it's like, oh god, so many of these things are gonna die.
Well, that too.
It always makes me sad about baby sea turtles. I'm like, they're adorable, and I know like 90% of them are gonna end up in seagull bellies.
Great news if
Okay,
you're a fan
so
of seagulls, though.
all right, now I'm
True.
I'll paraphrase what seems to be some questions that I've seen pop up here a little bit, and people be asking around. Essentially, what do y'all think would be like the maximum size of a sauropod that could realistically be kept?
It's a good question. While we're thinking on that, this is some interesting tidbit from Prehistoric Kingdom who say that that's something they've had to artificially reduce is just the amount of food and dung associated with sauropods, just from a pure gameplay perspective, which I completely understand.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh! And we have a $230 gifted by Reina to Dr. Sogbatar.
Oh
my
my
gosh,
god,
extremely
thank you so
generous.
much.
Thank you so much.
Holy moly.
Thank you so much. That's incredibly generous.
That is okay. I have a thought
Please.
on what would be the biggest, which is what zoo keeps the most elephants,
Let me look this up.
Oh,
and how many do they keep?
I like this. It's a
yeah,
biomass question.
this is a correct.
Yes, 'cause,
this is a
like,
correct way of doing this.
If you think of a titanosaur as weighing, like as much as a small herd of elephants, right? That's, back of the envelope. Probably spatially not so correct, but in terms of feces and food, maybe approaching all of the elephants into one animal. And now, granted, this is keeping just one of them, and so if there are any social demands, it's going to be a miserable beast. But Josh was saying there's a Spanish zoo that has a whole valley for a herd of elephants. I want to go there right now.
I do
Sounds
too.
awesome.
That sounds extremely cool.
Oh, when we went to the North Carolina Zoo had like a huge. Am I remembering that
It
correctly,
did.
Jimbo?
It had a very, very large elephant enclosure
Valley
with like
kind of
kind of
thing.
many, but it didn't have that many elephants in it. I think it had
Okay,
maybe 4 or 5. They had an enormous elephant house, though. I think their capacity probably was a lot higher, and they might be downsizing.
interesting. Okay, I thought I remembered like like kind of a pseudo Serengeti
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
thing.
You're remembering correctly. They just didn't have that many elephants in it. It was a huge
Gotcha.
space. Yeah, it just wasn't numerically that many.
Neat.
And yeah, Wanderer brings up the point, a single Titanosaur could easily destroy normal zoo equipment. And I think, setting aside the kind of enclosure logistics, just from a like food and operational logistics, what could a zoo sustain?
I mean, also, I guess to play very slight devil's advocate on that one, like a lot of zoo animals can, if they wanted to, destroy or break out of their enclosures. It's just making it slightly more difficult and disincentivizing them from doing so. That, like, I mean, think of electric fencing. Um, a, a cow, if it really wanted to, could go right through an electric fence. But just electrified wire on a fence, it's just disincentivizing it with a little shock so it doesn't want to.
Right.
I'm also
Smart.
having a hell of a time trying to find the single zoo with the most elephants. Turns out,
Oh, it's probably a circus, right? Like how
probably
many...
not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but like in terms of maximum number had, unless it's that zoo with a whole valley, I bet it was like the Barnum and Bailey Circus at some point.
Well, let's think about like good zoos.
Like,
Right.
yeah,
Not Elephant Torture
not
Incorporated.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not saying
not
that
like
that's good. I'm saying like in terms of how
But
you feed
fair,
that many, right?
fair.
well, yeah. I guess yeah. That's a difference between like just like keeping elephants alive and keeping them like doing a good job with them.
Swamp Ape
goodness
is saying
gracious.
22 elephants. The White Oak Conservation Center. There's a lot of elephants.
That is a lot of elephants.
I think, is this, I'm trying to find out, but Swamp Ape, you'll probably be able to answer me faster. Is this set up more like kind of a traditional zoo or more kind of like one of the wildlife park style zoos, a la the Carbaceno Valley and or like the San Diego Safari thing? Because that is a difference. Like I think something set up in that arrangement could probably keep a larger sauropod than like a city zoo, which I feel like typically I see like maybe 5 Asian elephants. But okay, 22. I'm gonna do paleontologist does math. 22
Watch
plus
out.
5 divided by 2. And we're just gonna get an elephant number of 14. This is 13 and a half. We'll round up and work in whole elephants. Right, so let's say
Hey,
Not-
don't eat my fucking shoelace.
unfeasible to keep 14 elephants.
I remember at one point in the past we were like, "Hey, don't swear on stream."
I'm sorry.
And an
That
average
was something we used to say.
It's something we
Elephants.
still say. I'm just mad. We make an exception when they're eating my shoelaces.
How big is average elephant? My brain has been jelly today. Okay, let's just call an average elephant like 10,000 pounds for the sake of
I
doing
think
it.
that's a little light. I feel like they're usually like,
Well, males and females and like Asian versus African,
fair point. Right. We didn't ask about species.
and it's nice to work in tens. So let's say 10,000 pounds,
If we're assuming the
Times-
elephants are spherical,
14 elephants. We can maintain 140,000 pounds of body mass at our imaginary average zoo that I've made up. So that gives us 70 tons. That's actually a fair bit.
so that's a titanosaur.
Yeah, so maybe one.
So okay,
But I
so
think,
70 tons. If we're saying we keep two, if we're saying there's two, then it's what's a 30-ton sauropod?
maybe like a big brontosaurus or something.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess you could probably keep. Wow, was Jurassic Park right that like?
Isn't that explicitly a point in the novel where
They
say, like,
didn't clone the biggest. Yeah,
we're not
Yeah.
keeping the biggest ones because we can't possibly.
We
do
literally can't. Huh. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I guess we've-
Apatosaurus. Wow.
we've reverse engineered Jurassic Park and Michael Crichton from First Principles. Thank you all for joining us, and good night.
Wow. Yeah. Huh. Neat that we just converged on that.
Swamp Apes found the AZA standard minimum. I'm assuming this is for elephants of 400 square feet indoors and 1,800 square feet out. That seems too small. I guess it is the minimum.
Right? Is the minimum like they will die if you don't have this, or is it like,
We will come and take them away.
The state will come and take it.
It's
take it from my?
Isn't that well?
my
That is
cold,
isn't that the
dead
plot of
elephant house?
the new Jurassic World game?
Is it
Right, the
Is
dino
it?
manage. Right, the dino like they're like out in the wild and like people are running like. That's what I thought. I saw one of the things where it's like you have to help dinosaurs succeed in the modern world,
yeah.
which is like the state. You have failed your random state dinosaur inspection.
There's a mechanic, I think, where you can like get dinosaurs or sell dinosaurs to like either like known entities or unscrupulous dealers.
That's
Oh
so
yes,
funny.
I did really like that when they revealed that mechanic of the like
Surprise
like,
Tyrannosaurus.
yeah. It's like I'll build I'll buy a Struthiomimus from this one star seller on Dino Etsy, and then the suspiciously T-Rex shaped package arrives.
Which is great because it just means some guy somewhere is like, oh
This'll
god,
be
I gotta
funny.
get rid of this T-Rex.
How do I offload this?
But also, I did find it funny that like it is seemingly only a small number of people immediately went to my gamer brain, which is like, oh, so you're telling me I can get a T-Rex for the price of a Struthiomimus?
With this one simple trick.
With this one simple trick.
Right. This was my bad moment when I was watching Tiger King. I was like, I can afford a tiger. I didn't know that.
We had a question. Oh, Amelia answered a question in text, but would you like to answer it verbally?
Sure. So someone asked about my thoughts on the prehistoric planet mosasaurs, specifically what I don't like about them. Basically, they fall into a common trap, which is turning them into whales. In several ways. They didn't have blubber, probably. It's possible they might have had some analog to that, like I believe either ichthyosaurs or plesiosaurs or both evolved that. But the thing I say to that is keep in mind that mosasaurs were around for a much shorter time than those other animals were. They had much less time to evolve those very derived fat storage systems. The body is too deep. This is probably based on a paper,
My doctor
which
said
I don't
that.
think even reconstructs the ribs really. It just shows them from front view, so they're round, and so people give mosasaurs this big barrel chest, which isn't actually how they looked. The ribs would have been swept back like a modern lizard would, which also we see in articulated skeletons. So, and then the movements as well, kind of probably because of that, or because they were reconstructing them with a bunch of blubber, are just a bit too stiff, or they feel too stiff to me. When they move, they would have been a little bit wigglier. Although that varies by clade. But in short, those are my major issues with it. I will say to have a positive thing to say about it, I really appreciate the diversity of different taxa that shows, especially in the second season. Like there's like 3 or 4 different mosasaurs in the second season, which is pretty rad. So, yeah.
Can I say another little negative that has always stuck with me about the prehistoric planet mosasaur? The fact that they made it red as a display color.
Yeah, no, I hate that too. Let me talk about that quickly because someone tried to correct me on that and was wrong. So that was And originally when the show came out, I did write a little thread about my gripes, and that was also a gripe for me that one of them was red. Um, and so this was apparently based on marine iguanas, which turn red during the breeding season.
They
And they are
really do.
lizards.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a wild color change.
So the problem here is that marine iguanas live on the land. They forage in the water, but they're not displaying to each other in the water. That's all they're doing is they're diving and eating in the water. So that color is for display on land, and that makes sense given that red is one of the first colors to go away when you get deep underwater. And it's possible mosasaurs would have come up to the surface and displayed up there. Maybe. I don't know. It just feels like to me too many steps in the way of that. And Joshua mentioned that they are found in Antarctica, and it's possible. Again, it's not impossible that these things had a blubber-like structure, but again, I really don't think they were around long enough to do that, to evolve that. I don't know. But as of right now, we don't have direct evidence of that. So one day we might. There's some pretty well-preserved soft tissue mosasaur specimens, but the ones that we do have don't have any evidence of that.
We had, thank you, Amelia.
Mhm.
We had a question from
melanistic Dinocyrus is coming. Though.
Ooh, exciting.
Let's go.
A question from
Cool.
Nathan Zhao. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, and I apologize if I did not. Who asks a question for everyone. What are general morphological trends you're observing in your area of study? For example, given a few million more years, Tyrannosaurians might have lost metacarpal 3 entirely. I'll start with a very easy answer, which is that within squamates, there is one particular morphological trend, which is that they all want to get rid of their legs, except for iguanians for some reason, which don't have any known limbless entities. Every other group of squamates makes a snake of their own kind at some point. Sometimes many times. So skinks lose their limbs at least 20 times, probably within the clade. So it seems like once they have the capacity to do it, they're looking for any opportunity they can get to get their legs out of the picture.
Cool. All of my trends are results sections in papers I'm writing, so I can't really tell you. I can say one general observation is no, probably not actually. There's almost nothing left with palatable teeth anyway, so
Yeah, well,
those get lost a lot. Yeah, but they're just so reduced.
Yeah,
Even like
and Derek, you're right. Dibamids are also just there, which we're not gonna talk about dibamids.
Right. Now.
Yeah.
I want to just briefly interrupt. We're about to put dinosaurs into our dinosaur game.
Hooray!
Because I've spent enough time playing with rocks. So we're putting in...
It's been
a while. So we're
That's
putting
what-
in
it's been 45 minutes.
our ornithomimosaurs.
James is describing the process of getting your geology bachelor's degree before doing paleo. He spent enough time playing with rocks, now he gets the dinosaurs.
So we've got ornithomimosaurs.
Huzzah.
And they are confused.
Huh?
Especially confusing that I know you have strong feelings about this, Jimbo, but man, I really hate that you made the beast naked.
It had to not cook itself to death, so I think it would have been naked.
Oh, God.
Sorry. I'm sorry for turning off Nigel Marvin, but I don't want to be talking over him. I don't think the incredibly fluffy coat that we want Dinocyrus to have is like biologically possible. Like the prehistoric planet level of like enormous woolliness, I think couldn't happen. I don't think they would have gone. I mean, it's debatable. I don't know how naked I think any large theropod could have been, but I think that the presence of like a dense, fluffy coat is probably unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, James,
What?
here's the inevitable follow-up question.
Uh-huh.
Are they would our naked Dinocyrus be losing its feathers? Or are they evolving weird scuti that look like feathers?
There's no way
Let's
to know,
now have a
maybe it doesn't
4-hour
matter.
conversation.
Well, in this case, it would be like, I think, if it turned out to be scaly, then we'd have the conversation of, are these like scales or are they feathers turned into scales? Which I'm coming to I think my mindset is just kind of turning to, it doesn't matter. But if it was naked, if it was just gross skin, then it would definitely be just, it lost feathers.
Loss, yeah, fair enough.
Oh, it'd be like those weird, heinous, ugly, featherless emus that went around on Instagram a little bit ago. That just everyone realized, oh wow, they just have the colors of the Jurassic World evolution.
That was insane.
All right.
And no one knew the whole time.
We're getting some nests in here. We're going to allow animals to reproduce.
Let's do it.
But first, I need to talk about an acceptable break from reality I'm taking in this Nemet enclosure.
Which is?
I'm going to put in 2 hadrosaurs that don't actually live there.
Oh?
Naughty.
I know. I'm a very, very bad person.
Face the wall.
Now.
Where did Gallum... Oh, can Gallimimus not use the large? Well, something else will use the large. Okay. So, we're going to go to the hatchery. Let's go to the hatchery. Okay. So, in the Nemet enclosure formation, we know there are large hadrosaurs there. Saurolophus is really, really common.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have Saurolophus in the game. One I'm going to put in is Caranosaurus. I miss its really long crest, but this is fine. Caranosaurus is from presumably about the same time as the Nemet formation, and it was found in Russia, which is pretty close to Mongolia.
Yeah, they probably wandered over.
I don't think it would be unlikely for us to eventually find something like this there eventually. So I'm just going to put in a few of these guys. And I'm going to mimic Shantungosaurus, which is from roughly similar ages in Central Asia, and I'm going to do that by putting in Edmontosaurus annectens. And we're just going to pretend that's not what it is.
Fair enough.
I want the enclosure to have a little bit more life to it, and it's just rather, I don't want it to just be weird like geese in the entire enclosure. I want there to be something else there.
Welcome to geese.
It's geese.
And some of them are naked.
And I think I'm just going to put Tarbosaurus in there because I clearly can't multitask enough to design a good-looking crossover thing. So I'm just going to put in a pair because they currently can't eat each other. So
the game will update. You'll come back and find, oh no.
Oh God,
what have I done? We've had a request for some Oviraptor.
Oh, there will be Oviraptor.
It's the sequel to There Will Be Blood.
It's much
Amelia,
worse,
are
though.
you wearing a Brewers jersey?
Yes, I am today because we have destroyed the Cubs twice. Pretty hilariously. The first time I was going to Chicago, so I was nervous. I had this packed because I'm like, either I'm gonna wear this or I'm not, and we destroyed them 9-3, which is for baseball high points.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then yesterday, I was like, all right, I want to wear the jersey tomorrow, but not if we lose. Well, I would wear it anyway, but like if we lose, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. And I checked on Google because I don't I don't actually care about the sports. I just love Milwaukee. So I checked on Google what the score was, and it was 3-0, and the Cubs were winning in the first day, and I was like, oh Lord. And then apparently we got a 3-run home run immediately, and it was fine from there. And we got, I think it was 7-4 yesterday. So yes. Anyway, if you're from Illinois, I don't feel bad for you, actually. Go to a better state. I don't have anything else to say. Vaguely censored beverage that you can tell from the sticker. is thematic as well.
Figure it's time for an army of zookeepers to start providing food to these guys. So
Yeah,
here's
probably.
our Nemeth formation right now. I'm going to eventually come back to this and try to make it slightly more creative, but the idea that I had is that you've got the kind of like semi-arid area with water. You've got an oasis here, and we have the visitor area kind of interspersed through, or not interspersed, they're like nestled into the oasis on the land portion, and that you've got these areas where the rocks are lower so that you can look out over the Nemeth Formation in the distance there, which I think is a cool little concept. I like having all of these animals in here. I do wish we had more Nemeth Formation guys, though, because it's a very diverse area, and it would be cool to be able to make an even more diverse ecosystem of these.
I'd imagine that's down the road.
Now,
What other Nemeth formation critters would you like to see in the game, James?
oh, I mean, it would be cool to get more dromaeosaurs. Like, I know Alex and I talk about this a lot, but it would be cool to have, like, all the velociraptorines that are currently known from the Gobi. So, like, Atosaurus would be a great addition. That's the only one known from the Nemeth right now. There are some troodontids that would be cool. We don't have a troodontid yet.
No, we don't have any troodontids. We only have one thyreophoran.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ankylosaurs you could add. I would really like to see the like diverse oviraptorids that are known. Get Therizinosaurus, that would be fine. Although Therizinosaurus would be my like last. That would just be my last choice. I don't actually like Therizinosaurus.
Are you a Therizin?
What?
Why are you a hater?
Well, it's like I don't know. I just don't like. I just don't like it aesthetically. It's ugly. It's built weird. I'm not saying I don't want it in the game. I'm just saying like I want some of the other guys that we don't have any representation of yet before we have like another weird goose.
You will come to appreciate the Therizinosaur in time.
Okay.
James just clapping like a seal when they add Barsboldia into the game.
I want Barsboldia. I know what that is.
What else? Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like filling
Mononicus
out,
is from there.
Oh yeah, Mononicus would be great.
That'd be
yeah,
fun.
I thought that maybe, and like maybe a false memory, or it was on the planned roster. Was Mononicus planned for this game?
Probably.
I don't remember.
I
Hey,
wouldn't be
Prehistoric
surprised.
Kingdom, are you still here?
Yeah.
Um,
All right, now for the Morrison, I'm realizing that there's a dilemma that I have, which is there's a lot of sauropods in this game.
There are a lot of sauropods in the Morrison.
well, I guess do you want to be featuring a specific
Well, we should
part
probably
of
start
the
with
Morrison?
Diplodocoids, right?
Probably.
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus, I think, are where we start. I'll leave some
Yeah.
space, or maybe... All right, I've got an idea. I've got an idea for how to do this.
But again, some of these are stratigraphically distinct from each other, right?
I think so.
We have an answer, which is they used to plan Prenocephalae back in the day, but not Mononicus. But who knows what the future will hold?
Who?
That's an exciting
answer.
Very interesting. Mononicus is small. Well, actually, it's larger than Compsognathus, but an Alvarezsaur could fit perhaps in those terrariums.
They did. Oh gosh, it was in one of their recent updates. They said like a rough size for like those, because the largest of those terraria are actually kind of huge.
I'm
They're-
so excited for those.
They're not like Planet Zoo ones where they're just like, oh, this is just like a desk size cube.
Right.
I'm actually quite excited.
Oh yeah.
Initially I was skeptical of the plan because I remembered how like dead they felt in Planet Zoo, and seeing I shouldn't have doubted.
Oh
Seeing the devlog footage, I was like, okay, yep, all right,
Yep, done. Mhm.
Cool.
Especially also like, guys, gotta say it is an absolutely like you guys worked magic. See, like, and it is an inspired idea to have the animals jump between the different animation sets when you've like moved away far enough so
Yeah.
they despawn, so it feels like they're always moving around and doing different things. Amazing, genius, wonderful. It adds so much life to that idea.
Right, because if I recall, Tiktaalik is amongst the
Tiktaalik?
Tiktaalik. No,
Tiktaalik.
we all know that Alex is the king of pronouncing things wrong as a bit and then just becoming the way that he pronounces things.
I resent that accusation because
Alex,
it's probably true.
I do not believe that you have ever that you started saying megalosaurs in any way but as a bit.
Wouldn't you? I mean, maybe. What I was going to say is, I mean, Tiktaalik gets pretty big. It's like, I think the larger specimens are like pushing almost 3 meters. So if they have room, like those big semi or aquatic vivariums, that's a big guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
I was hoping it would be okay.
But okay, so to a question that I had earlier, which was, aren't some of these sauropods stratigraphically distinct from each other?
Yes, but I don't know offhand what the like generally agreed upon faunas of the Morrison are.
Ah,
Colin, aren't you in chat right now? Can you tell us?
Colin was here a minute ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Colin,
Colin,
please help. I
help
need
us.
you. I don't know
Help me,
anything about
Colin.
sauropods.
Help me, Colin. Save us, Colin.
I mean, am I
I'm
allowed
making
to?
Pit World, Dalton.
Pit
Pit World.
Because it's the only way you could possibly do anything.
So I mean, like, as far as like actual like stratigraphic separation in the Morrison goes, it's like there are Foster's biozones, and there are like six hypothesized biozones. I don't know how tightly constrained they are, but if I recall correctly, zones 2, a lot of the fossil material is from zones 2 and 5, and I think like Camarasaurus, Apatosaurus, I think like of those iconic sauropod species, a lot of them are literally just coming out of the same quarries.
But well, because of the granularity of this game, which Camarasaurus?
That
right,
is,
Grant.
as far as
Hold
I'm
on,
aware,
I can
an open
actually-
question.
Okay.
I'm going to check Foster. I'm going to do a science.
He's consulting the books. I would say you could use the copy that's in our house, but that was a library book, and I returned it.
And
I
also,
know.
you two don't live together anymore.
I'm aware. Fortunately, the entire book is free.
Hot diggity dog. Oh, an Ediacaran touch tank. That's an inspired idea.
Oh,
It's like the jellyfish touch tank at the Norwalk Aquarium.
I bet they would
That was
feel
great.
so bad.
It would be wild if it's just like some teenager staffing the Ediacaran touch tank, and it's just like a concerned mom comes up and it's just like, "Hi, I just want to make sure like
that.
my kid's interested. Like, what are they supposed to feel like?" And like looks up from their phone, just like, "Lady, I don't know."
Yeah, like, what are
What do
these?
you mean?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? I have touched these every single day of my life, and I do not know what they feel like. It is an entirely unique sensation.
Uh-oh. All right, I'm not on the Yale Wi-Fi, so I actually can't download the book for free.
Speaking of Ediacaran and touching them, I got to touch one the other day because we have one
Oh, yeah.
in our collection. Our new collection, new to us collection. It was very small. I thought they were bigger for some reason.
This is the Dickinsonia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they get bigger? Or is that
I think they get like. Don't some of them get,
Dickinsonia
like, a
gets
meter?
like 6 feet. Some of them are like almost 2 meters.
Good lord.
Oh, that I don't like at all.
That's
Some
bad.
of the
Okay,
fronds,
It's too big.
yeah, like Chinaria, some of those frond, like the fronds with holdfasts are like over a meter and a half.
Well, the fronds doesn't bother me. It's the pancake ones. Those should not be larger than like a tea saucer.
I appreciated so last weekend or last week really I was in Denver for my girlfriend's cousin's wedding. And because I was in Denver, I went to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science for the first time, shockingly. And I took my girlfriend with me. And we were walking through that prehistoric life section in there.
Prehistoric
And
journey.
Prehistoric journeys. Thank you. And because it starts out with like the beginning of life and stuff, and it has some of these ediacaran critters. I thought it was very funny that this was I think either the day or the day after that Amelia posted your Dickinsonia from the museum, and Shannon looked at the one that was on display, just pointed directly at it, was just like, I don't like that thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Listen,
that's fair.
That is how I feel whenever I see anything. That's
By
from-
Jurassic Canon King, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us, Mr. Snappy, as well. Mm-hmm. I love the ocean dioramas in Prehistoric Journey.
They're very good. They are reminiscent to we had some that were very similar styled to that, although quite a bit smaller. At the University of Michigan, when I first started there, they no longer have them. They might have one.
Well, that's too bad.
And I thought it was very funny that it was like this time through the ages, and it went all the way up to the Cretaceous, and all of it was underwater except the Triassic.
Okay.
And it was like,
Sorry.
What?
There was no water then.
I have
Yeah.
relevant information about Camarasaurus.
Please,
biozones.
please.
From distribution and biochronology of Camarasaurus from the Jurassic Morrison. This is just Camarasaurus because I can't get Foster's book. But according to this paper, there is stratigraphic overlap in the range of... Oh, shoot, where'd it go? Camarasaurus grandis and Camarasaurus lewisi. And then Camarasaurus lentis might have some overlap with grandis. And then Camarasaurus lentis overlaps with Camarasaurus supremus, but supremus is higher in the section away from grandis. So some of this Camarasaurus species do overlap. Not all of them.
Now, which of them overlap with Brontosaurus and or Apatosaurus?
And or Brachiosaurus.
I gotta find Foster's.
And or Dryosaurus.
This is gonna drive me nuts.
So I've decided to make this small little watering hole at the deepest point here.
Very nice.
I'm trying to actually terraform a little bit.
Thank you, Josh, for joining us.
Oh yes, thank you. We will not be making a paleobotany video. I refuse on principle. Amelia can make it on her own. I don't want to be a part of it.
Rude.
I don't know enough about extinct plants to feel comfortable with that. I just like living ones.
If somebody writes a script for us, we will read it verbatim, staring
With no
at a
credit.
camera.
Well, if you,
We'll credit you. No, we'll credit you. Maybe.
I feel
I would credit them.
I feel bad plugging our Patreon on a charity fundraiser stream, but there is
Yeah, but
the
go ahead,
$100 at the $100 tier. You can request a custom video on any topic.
You can, in fact. Nobody's done it, but you can.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that is.
Even the multiple people who have been at that tier, nobody, when we've asked, they're just like, no, happy to help.
You're like, yeah, I don't want anything.
Ooh,
Oh, the animal intelligence questions?
yeah.
It's an interesting question.
Why don't I read it so other people can hear?
Okay, sure. I suppose.
Alice, I think, asks, you might not be the best people to ask, but how do we know that that our methods of measuring animal intelligence actually work? And we're not the best people to ask about this because we're dumb animals. It seems
Speak for
fairly
yourself.
impossible to prove, even in living animals. It's not like we can look into their minds. So how can we confirm that what we use as signs, such as brain to body ratio, are actually significantly impact intelligence? That's a really good question.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it gets very much into the fact that, like, can we possibly come up with a, like, consistent and universal definition of what intelligence is? Probably not.
I mean, people have different, like, individual definitions for what intelligence means in humans.
Right.
Like, and we could talk to those.
Mm.
That said, I do think that things like brain to body size ratio do seem to at least jive a little bit with all the things we would normally call intelligence. Like reaction time, problem solving ability, like things like that. There's a lot of
to a degree, yeah.
Well, there's variation to be sure, but there's not a lot of things that I would say are like unusually smart seeming for having a very small brain. Especially now that we understand things like bird like neuron arrangement doesn't fall into cortical layers, so it's more three-dimensional, which is why in a smaller brain they can like do more mammalian type things than a mammal could. So I get like I think it's very hard to pin down, but I don't think the core is like incredibly ill-informed, if just because it seems to kind of be performing as expected to some degree. I don't know how I would feel about predicting intelligence in an animal in the past, though. I think that would probably be pretty fraught with difficulty.
Yeah, because basically you're just going on brain to body size ratio.
Right.
But, like, yeah, it is... It is indeed complex. Like to bring up... one of Alex's favorite talking points of the elephant fish.
Oh yeah, has the largest brain encephalization quotient of any animal.
I realize.
And like
the entire enclosure. Not.
I don't I don't think that anyone's been arguing that they are like that they are the true masters of this world and we're all just living in it.
Right.
Right. It's because they have cool electro. Oh, why is this? Electrosense organs. I am going to find. I like definitely downloaded this book. This is driving me nuts.
So Paleo Nerd also asks on this. So was T-Rex really as smart as a baboon?
No.
No.
No, probably not.
But like that metric also had quite a number of limitations. I mean, like, right. So you have the example like the elephant fish, but like, how about an actual elephant, which has an enormous brain and is very smart? Or cetaceans, which have
whales,
enormous brains and are very smart, clearly, like, in ways that we can recognize as humans. So, a correlation does not need to be literally one-to-one to exist as a correlation. Like, you can have a weak correlation or you can have some scatter. It doesn't invalidate the predictor. I think this is like a thing. This is very related to the like people aren't very good at statistics kind of stuff that we deal with all the time. Where
I just made a slide about that.
Oh, did you?
I did, yes.
About how people are bad at statistics.
Yeah.
You're bad at statistics.
Yeah, it's like it's an important thing to understand is like you don't need a correlation to be literally true 100% of the time to have some predicted value.
Yes, and I think that I guess it doesn't really work either way, right? Like I think we can make informed guesses in particular for like extinct things, and like generally, if it has a big brain to body size ratio, probably is doing a lot of stuff with the mind, right? Unless we might have reason to suspect we've got an elephant fish situation where they've got some kind of weird sense organ. Similarly, if it's got a small, like I think it probably is a little less strong when it comes to the small, just because we do have like the situation with birds and different arrangement of neurons, and we also have, I think that cognition and intelligence in the things that we typically think of as unintelligent is less studied.
Yeah, that's absolutely
That
the case.
it's
Oh,
harder
yeah.
to play in like the low end and be confident, I feel like, than in the
There's
high end.
there's a lot of bias there. Like hell, I listened to an episode of The Moth a while ago. There was a science special episode where they had one of the people who told the story on there was the I guess PI for the project studying Alex the Gray Parrot's cognition, and a lot of what she talked about and in that story, and it kind of went to answer a lot of the reason why people even like recognize the name Alex the Gray Parrot at all is because they had to do an absolute ton of public fundraising because they had a hard time getting funding at all because it was widely thought that birds just aren't intelligent, that true intelligence is only in primates. And
Embarrassing.
but yeah, and basically, like she mentioned in the in her story, that like a lot of the times when she would talk with colleagues and funding sources, they were like, yeah, well, like it's not really intelligence. It's, for lack of a better term, it's parroting. It's just copying you. And it's just like, oh, you're just going to you're just going to develop an emotional connection to it because it's a pet animal. It's not a real, if you want to learn about cognition, you study primates. So, and then it's just like, once this was actually studied, it's like, oh, wow, there's a lot here. And I do wonder, this is also very much, at least personally, showing my hand for, like, I don't read that many papers on animal cognition in other animals, but I'd imagine that like animals are by and large smarter than we imagine them to be a lot of the time, but like not crazy ridiculously super intelligent, not like secretly super smart.
Astutely said, Scott. And now to completely and totally pivot
Ah, yes.
You found
back
what you were
to an
looking for?
earlier question.
Yes.
I found something I wrote.
Oh my gosh. Of course I
It is
know
a
him. He's
section
me.
from the small theropod stuff, where I was just like, so this is just Felch's quarry, which is one of the Morrison quarries, but this is literally one big pit. It's in Garden Park, Colorado. It's an arcosic sandstone with diverse fauna from the lower Morrison Formation. Has not been absolutely dated, but the reported fauna from the quarry includes, but is not limited to, lungfish, primitive mammals, turtles, goniophylids, Stegosaurus, Lauosaurus, air in quotes, Camptosaurus, and for sauropods, Haplocanthosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Camarasaurus, Diplodocus, and Apatosaurus are all known from the same quarry. So substantial overlap, it would seem.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, like, just actually now feeling stupid and realizing I could have just thought about Dinosaur National Monument.
yeah. The wall.
Which has like at least 3 different species in there.
Darf made a good point though. Animals don't even go to college. So
How do they get more knowledge?
They went to Jupiter and got more stupider, unfortunately.
That is what happened
That
to the
does seem to
dinosaurs.
also be what happened to sauropods a little bit.
Oh yeah. That's
They got as
why
big
their
as
necks.
Jupiter.
That's why their necks got so long, so they could reach all the way up to Jupiter and get
Wait, why-
dumber.
I'm reading
me.
through our
Stupider. Sorry.
chat, and I'm going to ask clarification from the person who posted this. But someone asked, for example, we can assume that things like sauropods weren't hugely intelligent, and that dromaeosaurs and hadrosaurs were fairly intelligent. And I am very curious as to
Where'd you put Hadrosaurus
what
in
evidence.
this?
Because what it's reminding me of is an old Star Trek episode of I
Oh,
think
the, like-
Voyager.
The like Parasaurolophus people.
Yeah, where it's like, oh yeah, the dinosaurs that evolved into sentient hadrosaurs. But maybe I'm also not super well read on like ornithischians, so I could also be wildly
Well,
off.
I think there's probably something to be said that they seem to have some degree of slightly more complex social behavior, at least like caring for their young.
Honk.
Yeah, and auditory communication. So
They do indeed honk.
How
So-
are you
so there's
feeling about
probably
this this
something there.
forest, by the way, guys?
I'm liking it. I'm
Yeah,
liking it a
yeah,
lot.
that's good.
We've had Nathan asked. I actually don't remember who all gave answers to the morphological trends question, but in particular, they wanted to hear Amelia's answer. Oh, and then it seems that you've written them.
Yeah, sorry, I just wrote it out. In short, if Plotosaurus is anything to judge the whole group by, they were unfortunately trending towards an ichthyosaur build with really long, stupid faces, and awful flipper situations. So like mosasaurines, especially the derived ones, start to condense, like shorten their finger bones, the individual finger bones, and then tack on a bunch more individual bones to make the digits longer, instead of just making longer finger bones to begin with. Then that's kind of the same thing that ichthyosaurs do. Ichthyosaurs do it to the extreme where their hands basically look like a cobblestone road.
Which is
It's
pretty
really
cool.
awful. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm glad the asteroid put a stop to that. Before they actually achieved that. But that's one of the things I imagine that they were trending towards, more of that. I mean, essentially, I think they would have become ichthyosaurs, like, because the derived mosasaurians like Plotosaurus really seem to be heading that direction.
I think, Amelia, it's funny you mentioned that because I've been thinking about my own zone of marine reptile stuff, and it does seem that they only go in two directions, which is turtle or ichthyosaur.
Inside
Yeah.
of you, there are two marine
Yeah.
reptiles.
Well, I mean, like
Because
ichthyosaur is just like
Thalattosuchians are
Sure.
also going to ichthyosaur. They've chosen the ichthyosaur path.
So I guess it's turtle or fish. Like, what
Yeah.
way do you go?
Which way western?
Which way, Western
Which way,
man?
Western lizard?
Which
God.
way western interior seaway man?
Oh no, that's really good.
That's why they pay me the nothing bucks.
I'm mad.
I mean, I think it probably relates to like how rigid your body is. Like everything,
Everything
everything
does.
that can thrash around just decides to swim by thrashing. It seems to be the best way to do it.
But yeah, like
Unless
they're
you
really
decide to
then you
have an
gotta
enormous
paddle.
shell and everything, right?
Yeah.
yeah, they're like two ways to locomote, really, unless you're like something weird that has a ton of constraints, like Hesperornid, like a weird seabird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Move by thrashing is very funny.
That's how you got to move. The
Do any
I
of the
was-
members of the crew swim by thrashing? I definitely do. I was
Weren't you
captain
on
of the
a
swim team.
Interestingly enough, we
I
swim
was,
more turtly.
yes. Yeah. I was indeed on the swim team back in the day. I was really good a while ago.
You were thrashing.
Oh, I was
They
thrashing.
call him Thrash Johnston.
that's how I learned to swim, was by thrashing.
Do your parents do the whole, like, grab you by the back of the neck and throw you into the pool thing?
No, unsupervised falling off dock
Ah, so close. So the rich version of that.
is the proud Rubenstahl family tradition of learning how to swim. Not
You
a
don't need to
personal
be
dock.
rich to fall off a dock.
I
There are docks in other
Was
places.
this a
I know-
public dock? Is the question.
It was the dock at the end of my street.
It's a,
okay.
it's-
All right.
Semi-public.
It's public
Semi-public.
adjacent.
But Amelia, I was thinking of you, in that I was thinking of Western Interior Seaway stuff, and that's when I think of Amelia. And I was reading about those horrible, and by horrible I mean incredibly cool, like 12-foot long eel lizard fish that are apparently all over the place in the Cretaceous. The
Huh? What? Huh?
Alopa.
I've never heard of these
I've
monsters
never heard
before.
of this at all.
I haven't heard of this either. What do you
Inform us.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'll look it up. I was reading through like a like a taxon list for like the smoky chalk or something, and I was like, what? What even is that?
If you can get me a name, I want to see if
Okay, 1,000 square meters of territory have been allocated to the sauropods.
Oh, Stratodus is one that someone just posted in chat. What on earth is this thing?
Yeah, this thing. What even is that?
Holy!
He's just long.
But yeah,
AJ the Sleepy, thank you very much.
and I was just thinking again,
Well,
like,
thank you.
I love moray eels. One of my favorite fish to see are eels. I was at an aquarium in France, and they had like a huge, like one of those tubes you walk under, and like just free swimming moray eels were cruising around. I'm like, that's so cool. And then I read about this. I'm like, this is cooler. This is like armored moray eel time.
Good lord. That's horrifying. I love
That's
it.
a sea serpent. That's so cool.
Okay, but so
Man.
they're not lizards. I was very confused
No.
by this.
No, lizard
no,
fish.
and they're not apparently very well known because I'm just finding bits and bobs of jaw bones in images.
Okay, and this is like, and so the group they're in, I don't know a lot of. I'm just reading right now. Allupiforms, right? Like tons of shallow pelagic species in the Cretaceous, and now they're mostly deep sea with a few like shallow buds. That's so cool, man. Fish are cool.
Oh,
Hey,
there's
we got a brontosaurus named Amelia.
Hey!
cool. Sorry, I'm distracted. There's a poster that did come up on ResearchGate of a new, I don't know what year this poster is. Nearly complete specimen of Stratodus from South Dakota. But that's the only significant material I've seen anywhere.
These are enormous trees.
They're humongous trees, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my god, yeah, they are. How deep is that pit? How deep
Deeper
is
than
this
I
world?
thought. But I wanted to make it that basically a visitor could see like the brontosaurus can stick their heads out of the enclosure toward a visitor.
Uh-huh.
We can have like a Cincinnati Zoo situation
Feed
with a brontosaurus.
Yes. I mean, that's my dream. Like when I finally have time and build like my zoo of all the animals in the game. Right. I've got a dream of a Morrison enclosure that has a lot of kind of suspended walkways where people can go where the sauropods are.
Right. That was my idea here. I didn't want to build that.
That's fair.
Oh yes, I do. I like
What if a
Mantis.
brontosaurus grabs a guy?
Well, I mean, I can definitely see because, like, okay, if we're thinking,
How do you do a Harambe thing with a brontosaurus?
Oh no.
You just have an RPG.
I do like lancet fish. Yes, they're very cool. They're with, like
Do you make all children wear like the spiky vests you give chihuahuas to keep owls away?
instead of an emergency an emergency rifle just in case a child falls into the enclosure, the zookeeper's got an emergency expendable anti-tank rocket launcher. They just extend and I'm so sorry, Amelia blows hole through the entire body of a sauropod.
Now, what do we think about feathered Dryosaurus versus scaly?
I like it. I like the feathered one.
Show
give
me the
it
scaly
fluff.
one.
So this scaly, I do like this color pattern quite a lot.
I like the colors on it so much is the issue. I like the patterns and colors.
Mm-hmm.
It does have nice patterns.
I think that to my taste they're a little too fluffy, but that's a personal thing. So
No, to me as well, and so I think I'm gonna
What are you
make.
talking about? They're barely fluffy. The
Yeah,
back
what do you
half
mean?
is naked.
Well, I would guess that might be too fluffy.
That looks like calendrodromias.
Yeah, but it's more. All right, fine. I'll make a couple. I'll make them fuzzy.
coward.
They even give it like the tail. I think the tail pattern is kind of
It
meant
is.
to
Yeah,
evoke
yeah,
it
yeah.
very.
I think so too.
Leonosaura in this game, right?
Leelinosaura is fully feathered in this game.
Oh, sweet! I love They're so cute. They have big long tails.
We have
I do
many.
so on our musings of like what would it be like to have a zoo like this in reality. Isn't there a way to select all animals on there?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're doing it this way. I'm sure
Okay.
somebody in chat will tell me why I'm bad at this. I
Chat, tell him why he's bad at that.
But so thinking about this, like if it was a real zoo, like we're all joking about like, oh yeah, a sauropod just grabbing a kid. That definitely would be an issue and a concern in a real zoo like this, and probably why you would need very segmented off, supervised feeding stations. Because I mean, even just the possibility of like a kid going to feed a brachiosaurus or something, holding up a branch and the brachiosaurus biting down on it and pulling back, and the kid not letting go.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I can't. Did I send you guys the TikTok of the horse about to bite another horse? It just comes in out of nowhere, teeth out. Like that's all I can see.
Well, that raises an important question that I think, Amelia, you're the only one qualified to answer, which is, are sauropods valid to eat fingers?
Yeah. Gut reaction. Yeah.
I trust that. Also, Vito's perch on your chair is amazing.
Is he still there? I thought.
Yeah, he's just balancing there. He's doing great.
He loves this chair.
Also, good point, James. You forgot Camarasaurus.
I was gonna ask which species I'm supposed to make. I didn't forget.
It's
Fair,
okay
fair,
if you
fair.
forget. I often forget Camarasaurus exists.
I like Camarasaurus.
No, I do too. I like the real animal. I just find that almost all depictions of it are bad and ugly.
Look at
Except
the
for this
Dryosaur
one.
cluster.
But no,
we
this
have
yeah,
here.
in Prehistoric Kingdom, it's not.
This is great.
Look at them all.
They're having so much fun.
I did do like AJ the Sleepy saying Sorambe. Sorambe.
Listen, it's the only way to get the timeline back together.
Look at all those.
I like the Brachiosaurus is just trying to leave.
Oh, Alex, thank you for this. I didn't realize that there were people in chat who aren't familiar with us.
Well, I guess Prehistoric Kingdom brought a bunch of people over.
Yeah, yeah.
So, welcome.
I guess, yeah, we should all
Yeah, we'll
introduce
do-
ourselves.
Yeah, in person
for-
as opposed to me typing it in the chat.
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
also because that allows me to avoid having to ask Amelia what the name of the place she works at.
Yes, that's good. Do we do it in normal order?
Yeah, do it in
I
normal
think
order.
yeah.
All right,
And give a little bit of a longer intro of who we are and stuff.
Yes.
Of who you are, yes.
Who I am and stuff. I'm
Just,
Dr.
just James. No.
Yeah, just me. I'm Dr. James Napoli. I am a research instructor at Stony Brook University. So I teach human anatomy to medical students for my day job and my teaching obligation, and I spend about half the year dedicating my time just to research on dinosaur evolution.
My name is Dr. Amelia Zilo. I am an adjunct biology professor at Carroll University, but my day job is I am the museum specialist in programs for the natural history collection at the History Museum at the Castle, which is a small local history museum in Appleton, Wisconsin that has recently acquired a natural history, primarily geology and paleontology collection from another museum that had to close because it was on a campus for a university that had closed. So my job there is doing a couple things. Actually, right now, most of what I'm doing is wrapping things in bubble wrap and then putting them in boxes and driving them from point A to point B. So we have to, myself and the other paleontologist that they hired, Chase Shelburne, are packing, like organizing, packing, documenting, moving all the specimens first. After we get that out of the way, my job will shift more to developing new exhibits and programs for the collection. I actually get to have a program, my first program, coming up on Halloween. I'll have a table out at the museum with all kinds
very
of
fun.
Oh, that'll be great.
sharp and pointy things.
I have a
that
dumb
are-
question.
Yes.
How, as a scientist, do you resist the urge to pop all of the all of the
bubbles?
Yeah.
Because I want to save as much of our budget as I can for fun things in the new exhibit, which is very
would get so mad at me.
the, the more bubble, which we do buy a lot of bubble wrap. That's the other thing I do is I bring bubble wrap from the museum that is still around to the museum that is closing because we ship things there. So I bring fossils over. So like today, I borrowed Jacob's car because it's bigger than mine. And therefore more useful for actually moving things. And I ferried a bunch of things over. One of them was a box of meteorites. If you're wondering if it was heavy, it was. And a coworker asked, "Why are we wrapping those in bubble wrap? They fell from the sky." And I said, "Good point."
That's so funny.
I said the same thing, I think, the other day. I'm like, this is kind of silly. But the real reason is it protects them from like scratching each other or from damaging other things in the box. And then there's this big thing of bubble wrap. So much bubble wrap. It's like 6 feet long. And I brought that back. Exciting. There have been some other developments too that hopefully one day I can talk about that are more fun. Fun in the sense that they're not actually fun, but there's been a lot of like interesting.
We've got Dryosaurus escape. Sorry.
Oh no.
That's okay. Oh,
the most dangerous part of a Dryosaurus escape is the car crash it's going to cause. It's like deer.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking, but like the other fun aspect for me to learn how to navigate is like the logistical and political aspects to a museum closing and another museum acquiring it, and there being 2 different counties involved in this and the government and all kinds of other fun things. It has actually been really fun and really cool. So I'm excited to hopefully in the next few months get to talk about the new exhibit, which we're working on once we get everything moved.
Very nice. Very nice. My name is Scott Johnston. I am the vertebrate paleontology fossil preparator and technician at Harvard University's Museum of Comparative Zoology. And that's one hell of a big mouthful of a title. And it's because I do a whole lot of things. Basically, my job equates out to roughly doing all of the specimen handling work, or all of the work that involves working directly with the care and preservation of the fossils. The vertebrate fossils specifically, and their preparation. Preparation has been defined a lot of ways for a lot of people. I like to give it a more of a broad catch-all definition that fossil preparation is the science of making data available to researchers. And so that involves everything from doing the mechanical preparation of using air scribes and aerobrators and these physical tools to remove the rock and the matrix and all of that sort of stuff from around the fossils to expose the actual fossil material. And that also involves CT scanning, and that also involves making repairs and making molds and casts and stuff. This is all in the umbrella of fossil prep, at least in my very broad, possibly a little overbroad definition.
That's a good definition.
Thank you.
Resized Metaburosaurus for Camptosaurus. That's a good idea. But I must ask again, which Camarasaurus species before Alex introduces himself?
Maybe Grandis?
What are they cohabitating with?
Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus, Dryosaurus, and Brachiosaurus, and Torvosaurus now, because we don't have Allosaurus, and I wanted a theropod in here. Also, wow, look, if Jurassic Park had just invested in digging like a 12-foot pit, it can't
Look at that.
Well, so
doesn't matter if the power goes down. This animal cannot leave here.
No, but people can very easily fall in.
I don't care.
Oh,
They
yeah.
won't do that.
when this is good. This is good. Like this is my idol. Like when I think about, because sometimes I do like to think it's like, oh, how would I like do a paleo zoo or whatever? And I'm like, okay, so in my ideal future where large sections of land that like natural land that has been destroyed for useless or pointless things, like golf courses or something like that, are repossessed by the state, and then you're basically starting from like, you're not adapting an existing landscape into something, you're just making a fake ecosystem from scratch, and they're always a big pit. You always make a big pit.
Yeah.
That's your affiliation?
Well, that's also your answer for which Camarasaurus.
Well, that answer I don't have for you because the information I had on that paper does not give me the overlap with other sauropods, just other chimeras.
Wait, I thought I got the escaped dryosaur.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
But I'm Alex.
I picked 2 of them back up.
I'm a PhD, a last year PhD student at Yale, and I study the systematics and anatomy of ancient crocodiles and little birdie theropods and reptile palates, all of which I'm super jazzed about and excited to. I mean, I am, but I'm excited to share with you my results and finish this dissertation soon, please. Anyway, that's me, and then we have one more.
Indeed, and then there was one, and that one is me, and I'm for those who are joining and don't know, my name is Dr. Dalton Meyer. I just finished my PhD at Yale University, same program as Alex. We used to be roommates. I no longer live in Connecticut, unfortunately. But fortunately, I am employed. And I am now a lecturer at Roanoke College, which is in Salem, Virginia. And I am in Roanoke, Virginia, which is the town right next to it. Roanoke College is not in Roanoke, but that's a quirk of history more than anything else. And so, I teach courses on paleontology as well as just some general science courses, and my research is focused on the evolution of lizards in particular. So my dissertation was on exploring the morphological evolution of lizards, looking at some fossils and looking at the anatomy of the ankle and wrist of modern lizards, which is research that I'm excited to hopefully be able to share in the not too distant future. And if you're coming to SVP, you can see me give a talk about it. And I'm branching out. My dissertation was on lizards, but I'm interested in reptiles as a whole. I've got work on early reptiles outside of what we have today, and I'm finally getting into dinosaurs, which were my first love in paleo, and so I'm very excited to be working on them now. And together,
we're the skeleton
crew.
Man, it's the longest we've
our
gone
shortest
into a video without...
Our shortest introduction yet.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is close. We're like a little over half an hour away.
So, I've seen there's a question on. So there's a question about paleo programs to go into paleo, and I want to dedicate more time to that. But I see Dinotaur66 has asked a few times about Zavacephaly. I just want to say, I mean, it's an amazing fossil.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing fossil. Just one of the best I've ever seen. It's so unfair. I don't really necessarily know if I think the tail would be stubby, but I'm inclined to trust the reconstruction they put in the paper. So if that's what they show, I think it's very possible. I don't really have that much more to say about it. I don't know. Who of us have seen it in person? I think it's just me and Alex, right?
I didn't see it in person. It wasn't available to see when I was at North Carolina.
Oh, Shinzo was working on it while I was a postdoc there, so I just saw it a lot, like around the lab. I've never studied it. That's a good opportunity to remind you. Anybody new here? We are streaming to benefit 2 important fundraisers in the world of paleontology.
Yes.
So one of them is to support the publication of an open access special issue of the journal Paleontologica Electronica that will be all dedicated to diplodocoid sauropod dinosaurs. So dinosaurs like this Brontosaurus here. Look at him with his neck all the way up like that. He's surveying his surroundings. He's master of all he surveys.
Oh wow, I love that.
That's
a great pose.
It's that pose, and then there's one pose that Apatosaurus / Brontosaurus do, where they stand tripodally, and
Yes.
it is
Hmm.
quite possibly my favorite thing that I've seen a dinosaur do. It's something that I want to just sit there and just watch it do that.
It's beautiful. So there's that. Okay. The other fundraiser, and I mentioned Shinzo, is that we're fundraising to raise money for the legendary and very, very, very important Mongolian paleontologist Kishigjav Sokbatar. His son is also a paleontologist, Chinzarek Sokbatar, who I worked with at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences for a few years. Kishigjav Sokbatar is very ill with cancer right now. He's going to need some very, very expensive treatments as he battles the disease, and his family have set up a GoFundMe to try to raise some money to help them sustain the cost of the treatment. And so they would obviously appreciate anything that you can spare. Both of these fundraisers may appear to be at their initial financial goal. The Diplodocoid volume is going to contract paleo artists to draw artwork that is relevant to the contents of the papers. And so by continuing to donate there, you're supporting the development of more good paleo art and the careers of some paleo artists. And the fundraiser for Dr. Sogbatar is basically unlimited, because any amount of money that you are able to contribute to them will help go to cover his treatments. And I
Yes.
believe they said that if any money winds up being left over, if they get more than they need, that excess money would then be donated to SVP to support
Yes.
paleontological research. So no matter what you're doing, you are supporting paleontology and contributing to two really noble causes. And that's why we've turned off super chats for this stream. And that's why we probably are missing a lot of questions were being fielded. So we're very sorry about that. Please bear with us. And I see that there was a question about undergraduate programs for getting ready for paleontology. Let me just read the question again, because I wanted to dedicate some time.
It's more
to this.
about whether having an unrelated undergrad degree and then going on to do paleo masters or graduate work.
Are you talking about sentient deer skulls question, or is this somebody else's?
Oh no, this is unnamed discussion.
Oh, okay. Yes, there's maybe a few.
There's another one.
Yeah, so I saw sentient deer skulls question, and I think they're both kind of related.
Yep.
So here's my advice. You are not looking for I'm going to just hitch us onto this Brachiosaurus for pretty while I talk, because I'm not going to be able to move the camera while I do this. You're not going to be looking, generally, for a college that has a paleontology degree. That doesn't really exist as an undergrad thing. Sometimes it's very rare. Maybe, I think Berkeley used to offer a bachelor's in paleontology. They might still, but I don't think they do. I think some like mining focused schools, or like things that were historically mining schools, have done that, because paleontology used to be so important for economic geology. There are occasionally like either official or unofficial tracks or programs where you can like kind of emphasize on paleo. But I would say that you don't even really need one of those, and I wouldn't advise you to make that the defining theme of what you're looking for. The most important thing that you can do as an undergraduate is get a really good foundation in the supporting sciences that contribute to paleo. And so any biology or geology degree, biology is probably more important nowadays for most fields of paleo, but geology can also, A, it still retains a lot of importance, and B, can obviously set you up for a paleo degree later on. Anything that's a good program in those fields will set you up well to go to grad school in paleontology. The other thing I'd recommend is that you do try to, if it's a tiebreaker, right, or another factor to look for, is look for a school where there is a paleontologist working on the faculty, or you're close to a major museum you can volunteer at, because when you're applying to graduate school, research experience usually winds up being the most important criterion for who they decide to admit. Because, we think about grad school, I think it's very easy to forget that when you apply to graduate school in paleo, like, from your perspective, and this is certainly how I saw it, like, I'm applying to do my dream job. Right? I'm like, I finally get to be a paleontologist. I'm going to get to work on fossils. I'm going to learn all these things. I'm going to get to do amazing stuff I've only dreamed of before. When you're on the other end of that, as a potential advisor, you're looking for a student who's going to be able to take on part of your research program and develop their own research program. You hope that there's somebody who you can know is going to be successful later on because you want to build that network of collaborators and former students. There's a lot of criteria that you're looking for, and it kind of all boils down to, do you think this is going to be somebody who's going to be successful as a researcher? Not everybody's got the, like, not everybody is a researcher in terms of the way they think about things, and that's fine. Like, it's a particular kind of neurophenotype we all have that allows us to do what we do. You know, there are things that I think I would be quote unquote smart enough to do that I don't have that makeup for. Like, I wouldn't do well on Wall Street, right? I think like their quants are very smart people, but they're a different kind of person, right? It's not like an intelligence or unintelligence thing. It's like, does your brain work in the way where you're going to be a good scientist? The best way to know that is if the person has done research before. And so having some research experience where you will have like a mentor who can vouch for you and say like, oh yeah, they were in my lab and they're really promising, is fantastic. And so if you really, really wanted to choose a program for anything, I would say choose a school where you know there's a paleontologist who runs a lab that's research active and who can take student volunteers.
Yes.
That's my general recommendation. And I think, like, you know, actually, Dalton, I don't know what, like, did you work in any labs at CSU where you were an undergrad?
I did not. I wanted to, and there are people who do paleo at CSU, and they do a lot of like Cenozoic mammal stuff, but they're kind of parked in the anthropology department, and I did a geology zoology double major, and so I wanted to volunteer and like work in their lab, but it just did not work out for me to do that. But I did try to supplement that with other experiences. So I had an internship with the Denver Museum in high school, and then I had an internship at Badlands National Park while I was in college over the summer, and that certainly helped. It was not as much research experience as I would have liked to have necessarily, but it ended up working out. And what I will say to that end is that if you wind up, you know, if circumstances do not align to let you go for, like, if you want to pursue paleontology and you're going to do that strategically by either doing biology, geology, some combination of both, right? And you just can't, for whatever reason, it's impossible for you to get to a university where people are doing paleo research. That's not the end of the world. I would then say, you know, try to find someone who's doing any research at all and try to get involved. Yep. If it's in like a bio lab or in a geology lab, if there's some research project that's incorporating undergraduates, just anything to show that you can that you have the research skills. Because while it's certainly, you know, if you have an idea of what you want to go into in graduate school, and you can get either a head start in that or something that's very, very similar, right? That's gonna make you stand out as an applicant, obviously. But having any kind of research experience is also going to make you stand out, because many, many of the skills are transferable, even if the exact methods you might be using are not.
Yeah. So, like, to share my own background, I've never taken a geology class in my life. Everything I've done has been biology. And my first research experience was actually straight up biology. It wasn't paleo at all. James, you look concerned. What's your deal?
I think the concern is that sauropods have escaped.
Oh.
How? From paleo?
I think they walked up the slope here that I made so that the vets and zookeepers can get in.
That's why you have to make that a person-wide slope.
Wait, it's going to happen again. Amelia,
and not the grassy
continue.
knoll.
Please continue your educational experience.
Nathan says you have a foot-tall fence at ground. You walk
and there we go.
Just straight over it.
PhD James Napoli.
Anyway, so
real quick, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I love that they can just walk over it. They don't destroy it. It's just, I'll step over this. Thank you. Continue, please.
That's okay. All right. So both of my degrees, I have an undergraduate in biology and my PhDs in biology. Are all biology. The first research experience that I had was on gecko embryos. So a very different kind of like actual lab work, which in most paleo is, it depends on where you are. There are some where you're doing like actual lab work. But like for my PhD, I would say I didn't do lab work at all. I did comparative descriptive observation type stuff. Um, but like it was that experience that really taught me what research was. It doesn't matter that it wasn't paleo. Like I went through the motions of collecting data, interpreting it, thinking of questions, and presenting it. I did it not actually through my own university, but through the National Science Foundation's summer research for undergraduate program, which is something that you have to apply to, I think in the winter, either in the winter or early spring before summer, and then it's 10 weeks paid over summer. So whenever you can, try to get paid research experience, but it's not always possible. And that's something that can be a barrier depending on your personal situation.
Gotta get paid.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's the other way to get research experience is through external grants like that. So the NSF is the main one, but there are other like funded summer research experience type things for undergraduates. Like you just have to look for them. You sometimes, depending on the university or the college that you're at, you'll have faculty advisors that can point you in the direction of those things, but you won't always. And like, at least in my experience and from other people that I've talked to, so it's not exclusive to the undergraduate I went to, typically colleges are poorly equipped to handle academically oriented students if it's not like medical research. Like they just no one does kind of like paleo research, more old school observational, that kind of stuff. They really don't know what to do with you, unless you have if there's faculty at that university that knows that. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you need to have a lot of initiative and you need to do a lot of this searching on your own. And then it also still helps even if the faculty member is not like a paleo person or even like in organismal or geology, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you really want to have someone as an undergraduate that's like in your corner, that can read over your essays, that can do mock interviews with you, that can help you through those professional processes. Especially if you, like me, don't have family in academia or in grad school or anything like that. Having someone who has been through it to like help you is really like, that's the only reason I was here, is because I had two actual advisors at Carthage, but there was a third professor who just, his whole thing was helping undergrads find grants and research opportunities. So like the three of them together all helped me find these opportunities, apply for them, to work through it. And then when I got my interview for the Gilder School where I did my PhD, the three of them did like a mock interview with me, and it was a million times harder than the real one. But it's like, it's because of having like those people like in my corner that I was able to do it. And like, again, the secret here is you have to have initiative. You have to write emails. You have to make phone calls. You have to do a lot of digging and searching on your own, which can be really intimidating and hard. And it is. But like you straight up, you got to do it. You got to work through it and you got to do it. Because that is, in a sense, what research is going to be. It's a lot of you figuring out how to do things on your own. And it's good to get practice that. It's also like a lot of networking, sending emails to people, asking questions, and just getting used to that process of asking for help and working with people.
Yeah. And I would say that I think just pursuant to, like, I mean, I guess I've got just two follow-up points. Is like, one, like Amelia said, there are definitely kinds of colleges that are not really well equipped to deal with students who like want to do academically motivated things. If you know in advance that you think you want to be like an academically focused person, that might be a factor to consider of where you decide to go to school. I mean, not that like, you know, again, your path is never locked in, right? It's like if you go to a school that's mostly focusing on vocational training and you decide you want to get a PhD, you can make that path. There may not be the infrastructure in place to like help you get there, but you can always do it. The second point is like, definitely not critical that your earliest research experiences are paleo. I just want to say though, probably the closer to paleo, the better if it's your choice. And so like, all I'm saying is don't like kind of just say like, well, whatever, I'll just do like chemistry stuff or something, and then I'll apply to paleo grad schools with no like paleo knowledge or background. If you have the choice to do something that's more close to paleo, that's probably going to help you out. Research opportunities that you could. Sorry, you can go ahead, Amelia.
Oh, I was just going to add, like, if you are really in a situation like any research is better than no research, just be prepared to spin it if you apply to a paleo program, and focus more on like big picture methods. Like, I wrote a paper, I did this, I collected and analyzed. Like, it's going to be a very different spin. It's going to be more difficult, but like, if you have a choice between some research, but it's not related, or no research, do the research. Because then like we talked about this earlier, like part of the process, which is also very important, is figuring out if you even like research at all. And like, you should be able to gauge whether, if you're miserable, you should be able to gauge if you're miserable because you don't like the topic, or if you just don't like what you're doing. Those are very different feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, can we please appreciate the little ugly pelican?
I hate the baby, and
I
I also
hate it.
want to say
it's so
I hate.
cute.
I don't love that you get a notification that says the animal is gestating. You know, it's appropriate and correct, but it just feels wrong. Nevertheless,
I want to highlight a couple things.
Well, wait, I wasn't done when Amelia interrupted me before. If I could
Okay.
just finish
Yeah,
my
go
point,
ahead,
Scott. I'm sorry. Then you can go because I
Scott, it's very important. James has a second chance to talk for 35 minutes about this.
It is important.
I'm gonna continue with my list of notes of things in the game that I've wanted to comment on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Continue. This is more important than the video game.
I mean, the only thing I was going to say is, like, based on my own experience, like, you know, and I think we're all talking about vaguely doing like bio related things. It's like my research was paleo in that it was like modern animal functional morphology with like paleo implications. I also applied to graduate school. Well, like, no, Amelia applied to graduate school with far more fossil background than I did. Like, I had never had I touched a fossil. I don't know if I'd touched a fossil when I started my PhD. No, I mean, I know I had. I'd been on digs and everything. But, like, in terms of actually studying them in the museum collection, not really. That's all. It's just, like, make sure, you know, you can kind of pivot in any direction. I certainly wasn't doing, like, Tyrannosaurus systematics as an undergrad, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But,
Correct.
You know, there's a lot to consider here. Scott, I want to know what you wanted to say, though.
Okay, number one, I really want to acknowledge and not let it just be breezed past the like 5 minutes there that the entire chat was discussing how James has a PhD and was
Yeah.
was
Very
outsmarted
funny.
by
I had
an
a feeling
animal
this is what you wanted to talk about.
With
That's
two
why I was like,
yes,
more
with
advice
2
for the
seconds
children.
thing. So that was one. And two, especially the naked version of the Deinonychus baby really, really reminds me of that one meme photo of the baby pelican.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where it's just and like it just continues, and there's so many comments on it. There's just like it looks like a chewed piece of gum, like and stuff.
Oh, that swimming baby hadrosaur is very cute.
They're one of the most
I want to see the baby hadrosaur.
Anyway, and now because everyone else has talked about what they should do to get ready for a career in paleontology, I will offer a few notes that I think are important, not and not things that have been mentioned. And these are my opinions. Anyway, I strongly agree that if you could, the most important thing as an undergrad is getting in some research experience as close to paleontology as you can. I personally think it's I know a lot of people who have done paleontology undergrads and are cool and good scientists. I think it's better to start very broad as an undergrad and develop like a general biology appreciation or geology, because it depends where in paleo you want to go into. Like for invert, for example, there's tends to be more of a geology focus in my experience. That's step one. Step two, if you're an undergrad, this is especially if you're an undergrad, and I've said this many times in our chats before, but I'm going to repeat myself. You must take a science writing course. No, you have to know how to write. If you don't like writing, I understand. You'll get to a point where it's, you dread it, and then you like it, and then you dread it, back and forth. But you got to develop the skill, and you do need to take some math classes. You need to take at least some statistical methods courses, even if you don't like math. Paleontology is not a refuge for the math of adverse, and I am not good at math. You need to at least understand some stuff. And if you're applying at the end of 4 years and you have a little lab experience, you've got like a Evo Bio or Eco Bio degree, and you are proficient in like statistical methods, and you can write a mean essay, you're going to have a good chance on getting set up somewhere you like. That's all I got.
I agree.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, as do I.
No, because you can name all the dinosaurs is not enough, Nathan.
They told me that I could name all the dinosaurs, and they told me I was too good for a PhD, and that's why I don't have one. So you can go the opposite.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go too far.
It is.
He knows too much. We have to silence him.
The interviewing process and like stuff like that. It is important that you are able to interact with potential lab mates and collaborators and stuff. If socialization doesn't come to you easily, that's okay. It is a skill that can be developed, but it helps.
I will also say that it is something that frequently people in PhD programs have difficulties with. So it's not like it's not like at least
you wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first. Not to disparage my friends here who have PhDs, but it is not necessarily always a group of incredibly charismatic social butterflies who are getting PhDs.
Only when it's the skeleton crew.
Only when it's the skeleton crew.
No, quite frankly, it's frequently
the more
not.
social end.
But I wanna emphasize that what Alex said, that the social aspects of it, the networking, public speaking, writing emails, all of that stuff.
Oh yeah, making friends.
It's all skills. They're all skills. Like, you can learn them, you can get better at them, but you do need to do them to do that.
Practice.
It's a skill like anything else. Like, it will feel uncomfortable, it will be hard, but you really gotta get through it. Like, bluntly, there really is no way to proceed in the academic side of this thing if you cannot give a talk. Like, that is the currency of academia professionally, is you will have to give a talk about your research in front of people, and you will get grilled for it. People will ask you hard questions about your work. You have to be able to get good at that. And this is another thing, again, if you are in an undergrad program, it's important if you can find an advisor, a mentor, someone to help you with that. It goes so long. So, like, for me at Carthage, my advisor was Dr. Carr, and something that I really appreciate about him as an advisor is he spent God knows how many hours doing practice talks and questions with me before any presentations, before anything. Like, he was always willing to meet in the office or literally run through my talks like a dozen times, like, for hours, and then throw a shit ton of hard questions at me. And then by the time I got to SVP and I did it for real, it was nothing. Like, it was not as hard because I'd already done it. Even earlier, like in high school, like you would not see me doing what I'm doing right now, what we're all doing right now, which if any of you have seen our earlier videos, we weren't like this. We were bad at this because it's very awkward to be talking into a camera.
Debatedly, we're good at it
We're
now.
so much better at it.
We're better. I don't know.
We're speaking coherently.
Right. Well, so my point here is, like, I'm not going to say none of us, most of us, 4 of the 5, and you can guess which 4, are not inherently social, like, outgoing, talkative, friendly people.
I resent that.
What are you talking about, Amelia?
That's not true.
Sure.
Yeah, genuinely.
Anyways,
But okay.
I'll say a
Years
lot of mean
ago,
things about Alex.
I've
That
heard
ain't one of
all
them.
stories about most of you what I'm getting at is none of us started here. None of us started with what we're doing now. So I wanted to back all the way up to like when I was in high school, and I was gonna say they're gonna laugh at me and say when I was in high school and I hated everyone and I was quiet and weird.
You can't tee it up like that.
It was I was worse. Like I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't do anything. But I recognized that about myself, and the way that I forced myself to kind of get over it and get through it is for my high school, I joined the slam poetry team, which if you don't know, cool. Is where you write personal poems and then present them to an auditorium full of people who then judge you with points in front of everybody. And nothing is ever, like, a talk is never going to be that hard. It's never going to be that hard again. It's never going to be that scary again because I did it and I practiced and I got through it. It does suck for a while and it does take practice, but like that's part of it. That's part of the process. Not no one. Some people are good at it from the get-go, but a lot of academics just by now, especially in paleo, by the nature of the kinds of people that this field attracts, most people aren't good at this from the get-go. It takes practice, years of practice, and a support system to help you practice.
One thing that I've been one thing I've just been telling students, and something that I've kind of come to realize just with more perspective on things. I speak as if I'm like a wizened sage. I'm 30 years old, whatever.
You are a sage.
But is that like it's helpful to think of, especially undergraduate, like later high school and undergraduate is a time where it feels like the stakes are extremely high. And in some senses they are, right? You want to be doing your best. You want to take things seriously and get the experience that you want to prepare yourself to live the life you want to lead, right? You don't want to be flippant with it. But simultaneously, these are also times in your life that are really great for pushing yourself and being willing to and accepting failure. Like, it's never fun to have that happen, but this is among the time in your life when the world is the most forgiving of it.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have the most opportunity to learn from it. And that it's uncomfortable to like grow skills that you don't have. It's uncomfortable to do a lot of things. And like obviously, you know, for some folks, certain things are just not possible. But I think it's really useful to treat these experiences and to treat, especially like undergraduate, think of it like exercise, right? Where everyone accepts that exercise is not going to always feel good, right? It's going to hurt a little bit. And right, the classic thing is if you want to build muscle, right, you have to kind of hurt it so that it heals and grows back stronger, right? This is, and especially an undergraduate degree, like the college environment at that level is designed to be like a supported challenge. Like, it is not supposed to be easy, but it's not supposed to be punishing, right? It is supposed to be a challenge. You are supposed to challenge yourself and grow, but you have to realize, right, that there's a humongous network of support available to help you through that challenge and to help, you know, pick up when you fail, to help push you when you lose motivation, right? A lot of this is intrinsic, but in particular in the university life and in, I would say, also later high school, it depends a bit on your school, I suppose. But hopefully, right, there's a big team of caring people who want you to succeed. But all of them are also going to recognize that a part of that success is going to be enduring at least a little bit of hardship. But that it is it's an environment in which that hardship is not supposed to be like unduly unbearable.
It is, I mean, almost cliched, right? It is character building. It's not character destroying is what it should be, right? Like, it's to help you. I think actually the exercise analogy was actually better than anything I could come up with. So I'm just going to say, That's
Yeah,
listen to the sage, who is twice the age of some people in chat.
He is. As am I. It is important to learn all of the skills that are like fundamental to what you do, and I will give you here's another secret. Those skills also matter pretty much everywhere else.
Oh yeah.
There are not a lot of jobs where you can kind of get away without like having to public speak a lot or anything. Like I think the only place I've heard of it is like in the tech world, when it was kind of like if you were a genius programmer, you could kind of just do your own thing and not talk to anybody. And it was kind of like, well, they're such a genius, we just kind of let him do his thing, and then he codes, and then he.
And what a world they've made!
Right. Thank God we had them doing that.
Those antisocial freaks.
But right, like if you're not good at public speaking, if you find it stressful, if you find it scary, you just have to practice. It's not like, unless it's like a true phobia, in which case, like, you know, that's certainly beyond my lived experience enough that I don't know what to do in that situation. Like if it is just something that is uncomfortable, but it is not like a medical fear, right? You can work on it and get better. Like you also, if you like public speaking, you probably do also still need to work on it, because you are probably not instinctually just doing it properly. Just like if you're somebody like, I mean, I was this way. I certainly thought I was an excellent writer and public speaker, and kind of every talk initially kind of realized I wasn't for like my first half of grad school, and then worked my way. I wouldn't say the writing was that bad, but public speaking, I was definitely like, no, my talks are great. And I don't think my talks were horrible, but I certainly recognized ways that they could be a lot better. And I've worked, every time I give a talk, I try to give a better talk than the last one I gave.
Right.
And that's like, you know, I'm not going to like disparage myself and be like, oh man, I sucked. But like, because I don't think it was awful. But I certainly gave some talks that I wish I had done differently in retrospect, and I've certainly tried to improve over time. Well, that's all we're saying you should do.
Unlike Dalton and I, who have been excellent and flawless public speakers from day one.
Oh, of course.
May I interject for a second here before we go back on to answering that question?
Yes.
I want to really quickly shout out IK Paleo in the chat,
Thank
who
you.
says,
I saw that too. I wanted to do
"Hi,
that
Skeleton Crew, one of the PK devs here, dropping in for a minute. Love to see the fundraisers doing well. Dr. Sogbatar, is that how you pronounce that? James, you've been the one saying it. Okay.
Yes.
Sogbatar's situation is really hitting close to home. I've also just donated. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for both your donation and your work on this lovely game that we all very much enjoy. And for dropping in and saying hi in the chat.
Yes, thank you
we
so much.
appreciate all across the board.
It means quite a lot to us. I mean, I'll speak kind of obliquely here also, but it is wonderful to feel that kind of support from the devs of a game that we're really big fans of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really, really nice. And we really appreciate you guys promoting the fundraiser, being here as part of it, donating. We couldn't thank you anymore. And, or we couldn't be more grateful. That's the right phrase.
We can't thank you anymore.
We can't.
We're done.
So we won't.
I'm
We're
physically
done.
incapable. I'm done. You, unfortunately, my brain melted earlier today because I've spent the last several days writing and rewriting a script for a video that I hopefully will be able to release fairly soon, that I'm sure everybody will be very excited about when it comes out. Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be very fun. But guys, seriously, thank you. It's wonderful. And we really do hope to do more featuring PK on the channel at some point in the future. So if there's anything you'd like us to know or do, just shoot us an email.
Please.
Yeah.
I need to interject now.
You may.
I don't like whatever environment you're making here, because
Yeah, what are you doing?
It looks like
It's
what?
Mars.
It looks like eczema.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm so attacked.
The Dalton Meyer enclosure.
I've got it too. Like,
Well, I haven't put in the vegetation and rocks yet, which I think will help. But
Please.
That's an important part of the paleo experience, is that either you will come into it or develop some kind of stress-based autoimmune disorder.
That is a possibility.
Did
I
you
want to.
know-
Unless you go,
Before you were paleo?
wait. Unless you go into fossil prep, in which you won't develop that, you'll just develop some sort of actual physical disability from your time spent with all of the harsh chemicals and dust,
Or hunched over.
hunched over.
I want to
Or
briefly.
if you're lucky, all of the above. If you're
Yeah.
pure of heart.
Just back on the exercise analogy a little bit more. Just with, like a couple of things to note about that, right, is that we've been talking about it kind of applying a lot to like what are often called the soft skills, but it also applies to the very direct research skills. Like if you want to do paleo, but you're like, oh man, I really don't think I'm cut out for math, or I have trouble with science, right? Again, this is a perfect time to really try to push yourself and be like, hey, I'm like historically I haven't really liked this, but I'm in a very supportive and like unique environment right now. I am going to try to like really like go for it. And I think when you do that, you will often be surprised. When I was in college, I did not like math. I'm still not the biggest like math fan, but I've come around quite a bit, both in terms of how much I enjoy math and I feel like my own understanding of it. And it's just oftentimes when you see things applied in the field that you're interested in something you have passion about, it can help. Right. So that was point number one. And then the other point is, you know, like as James was implying, it's always a journey of self-improvement, right? We're always reflecting and getting better at what we do. The more time we spend on it, right? As we design eczema enclosures, they're only going to look more and more eczematic.
Fine. You know what?
Eczematic.
But
Fine.
we're always we're always improving. And you know, as James was saying, right? Like I think my talks have gotten better over time. I hope they have anyway. Every time you do something, you get a little better at it. It's like, but when you're at, it's like going to the gym. Is I guess what I'm trying to say is right. Like when you first start is when it is the hardest, right? If you're trying to be like a bodybuilder, it's really really hard to get hench and like that bulked. But once you're there,
As
right,
we
you're always
all know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're always,
the skeleton crew, notorious gym.
well, I'm
goers.
okay. Yeah, I'm not speaking from experience here, but this is my assumption: is that it's very hard to get to kind of that like point. But then once you're there, you still have to work to maintain it, and you're always trying to improve. But it is less onerous, right? And you're not as like, oh man, like I don't think a professional bodybuilder is like dreads going to the gym, right?
Right.
It's just
It's
a different
fair.
experience because they're already at a particular level. And so as you're getting into something and you're feeling challenged and maybe discouraged, remember that where you are right now is probably the hardest it's ever going to be in terms of this sense, right? New difficulties will arise and things are difficult, but from the sense of kind of feeling overwhelmed, hopefully once you start taking those steps, that feeling will only continue to diminish. And at some point you might reach kind of a plateau, and it's like, okay, like when I'm not tremendously bothered by public speaking, and I haven't really ever been tremendously bothered, but like even still, I get a little nervous before I give a talk, right? That's just always going to happen. There's always going to be a little bit, but you reach a point where you get comfortable with that.
It's good to have a little nerves keep you from coming off like an incredibly confident and egotistical person who's unpleasant to interact with. They're that little internal self-criticism when you give a talk. It's good for you.
And it's not like, I don't think it's bad to have a slightly critical voice at times, just saying like, can you do better than this? Because I think that is like always the right thing to be trying to do. Like I don't really I just don't get the idea that I think some people kind of I've seen occasionally where it's like, you know, if you're self-critical, that means that there's like something wrong necessarily. It's like there's toxic ways to be self-critical. But I think like trying to honestly reflect, and like when I publish a paper, like when I published the wrist paper this summer, it's like that was in Nature. By all accounts, it's a very good paper. I still look at it and it's like, okay, I'm like, could I have improved this in any way? Like when I write the next one, what would I do to make this a better paper than the one I've last written? Same with every one of my talks. Same every time we make a skeleton crew video, believe it or not. Even as according to that Reddit comment, they've just gotten worse over time. I've still been thinking about how they could be better.
That was like
You think about that, and you've still been
so
thinking about
2
that
years
comment.
ago.
Listen. I can criticize myself, but when other people do it, I will never forget what they
Oh,
said.
James, that was you. Oh, bud,
I'm sorry.
that was. You can't. That makes me worried.
Why are we worried?
Because I
Because
made a
James
joke
is
about
still
that.
thinking about a Reddit comment from almost 2 years ago.
What was the comment?
The one where they said that we've just gotten worse at making videos over time.
Oh,
Do you still think about this too?
no.
Okay, good.
I
Well,
forgot
never
that
mind.
this happened.
Never mind.
I frequently forget that Reddit exists to begin with.
No,
much
James,
less that they
honestly,
talk about
yeah.
us there.
I used to be like, I used to think about it. I used to think about it a little bit, but having been slightly more engaged on Reddit than I was in the past in the paleo subreddits,
Oh yeah,
it has just given me this incredible, soothing confidence. Where I'm like, oh, it doesn't even remotely matter what these people think.
I love going into threads on Reddit, and like knowing just from the title, I'm like, oh my god, there's gonna be some stuff here I need to debunk, and you've always already done it for me.
Yeah, it's my walking into work scroll now.
I'm going to say my refrain of, guys, this is digital self-harm. This is hurting you.
I have fun. It's better.
Do ya?
It's better than. I think it's better than engaging with paleo things on Twitter.
See, well, and then for me, that's my digital harm that I get a kick out of.
We all do it in
sometimes.
our own ways.
Thank you, Isaac, for donating.
Yes, thank you.
It's nice to have an online. It's about every 3 months I find that there
The
has to
angry
be a
button.
relitigation that yes, birds are reptiles, that yes, reptiles are monophyletic, and yes, most people use reptiles and very few people use sauropsids, and that they essentially mean the same thing.
It's an incredible way to figure out who's like read any primary literature on systematics or who just reads Wikipedia articles.
Right.
Anyway,
It's actually the best way to do that.
Have there been any new questions? I feel I think we've probably done at least I hope we've
You
done
now all know how to be a
helpful job
paleontologist. Yes.
of talking
Yeah,
about
steal our
preparing for
jobs.
career.
Please. Yeah, are there other questions? Oh, is anyone here not on the Skeleton Crew Discord? You all should be. Not to plug our Patreon during a charity stream.
We've done it once.
It's a nice place by all
Darf
accounts.
asked if we will do a watch along for When Dinosaurs Roamed America.
I want to badly because it's one of my favorites.
I will say, peek behind the curtain, we are figuring out what we're gonna do with watch-alongs. Because we enjoy doing them. Nobody watches.
Yes, the problem was that people were not watching along.
This is true.
We produced videos that have never been seen.
Never, not once.
if
They
the
were
Skeleton
seen.
Crew makes a video, and no one's around to watch it. Did Dalton have to edit it anyway? Yes.
Hey, I did.
Or sometimes Scott.
I did sometimes. I did
Sometimes.
almost all of the Dinosaur
watch-alongs?
Planet ones.
Okay,
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, Scott did.
I
That was a
remember
rough time.
doing. I think I did the last one, and I was just like, "Why am I doing this?"
They
Nobody's
actually aren't
gonna
bad
see
to
it.
edit.
No, they're
they
nice
are-
to edit. It just took
again.
time.
I think I said because of the nature of the content, because we can't really edit for content minus bleeping swears. I think I told James that at least one, if not two of them, I edited while I was playing Receiver 2.
That's right. Yeah.
That I was just playing a video game and had Premiere running in the background with the preview, and every time I would hear a swear, I would just go "oop" and I would tab out and I would go and censor it, and then I would go back to playing.
Anyway, were we talking about? Oh, the watch along, right? whether or
yeah,
not we're
yeah.
gonna do them. Yeah, we're
Dinosaur
figuring out
Planet.
how we're gonna do them, but I would love to watch along to that.
Oh yeah,
It's a cool documentary. I like
it was one of my favorites growing up, and it has some absolute classic paleo bits in there, like
It's
of
narrated
course
John Goodman.
by the patriarch of the Gemstone family.
Yes.
indeed. Yeah, it's got the one of the best dinosaur sounds ever made in the Dilophosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the Allosaurus that is so weird and off-putting that like I barely even registered that it was an Allosaurus.
It's got Nothronicus.
It's got Nothronicus.
It's got some Jim Kirkland in it, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
it does.
I think it had
Oh,
Mark
really?
Morell, too.
Mhm.
In
Oh,
at least the
cool.
American broadcasts, they like would show people, like they'd have interludes with paleontologists. I think they had him talking about the Sinornithosaurus with feathers.
Cool.
I think they even mention. I think it's like Suski Tyrannus.
Well, right, the Sauropod.
What would eventually
The
become Suski
Saurosaur,
Tyrannus.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's a nice looking Protoceratops.
That is. Oh, are you putting them in a horrible hole where they belong?
The punishment hole. Speaking of punishment hole, how's Al? I
He's
was
good.
thinking about him.
He's good. His tail hair is still slowly growing back, but he still looks
Oh.
very, very silly.
Poor boy.
All right, so we've got our proto.
Dr. Seussian animal.
He does look very Dr. Seussian right now.
Sentient Deer Skull asked, "What do we think about Joaquin Raptor?"
And you'll miss it.
It's very cool.
What?
I don't talk about Megaraptorans.
Oh, it's I don't know. It is nice. It's like skull material. It's something I've known about. I think a few of us have known about for a while, though.
Yeah. I was my reaction when it was published was mostly, oh, thank God it's published.
Yeah, it means Matt LaMotta can respond to my emails.
Riley,
No, he's very good about that. I'm joking.
He is, yeah.
I should have called the paper "Joaquin with Dinosaurs."
Riley asked what happened to Al. Al is my cat. His name is Al Dente. And when we moved to Virginia, he got very stressed out, and it felt very bad for Al. And eventually that culminated after we were able to finally move all our furniture in. It was the week we moved down, having a wonderful time organizing that. Moving is a terrible thing. If you've never done it, try not to.
Don't move.
But
It's visions based on movement.
Al got very stressed out, and in cats, and in particular male cats, one of their organs that manifests stress the most is their bladder, and so he wound up with a urinary tract blockage, which is bad, very bad. So we noticed that he was having difficulties with the litter box, so we took him to the emergency vet right away. They were able to unblock him. We took him home, and then he promptly reblocked again. So we took him back to the emergency vet. They unblocked him. And in the interim between when we were going to pick him up a third time, or for the second time, he blocked again at the vets. And so they said, hey, it's kind of a 3-strike system. Typically the strikes happen over many years, but in this case it just happened in a week. And after the 3 strikes, they like to do an interventional surgery wherein they will enlarge the urethral opening. And so Al had to have surgery, and he's been recovering from that. And he's recovered very well. Things have been going quite well, thankfully. But in doing the surgery, I'm not sure why. I think they may have put an IV in his tail. They had to shave. So there's a patch of his side that is shaved. If you've ever had a cat that got like medical work done, they very often shave their wrists for an IV. So he had the little socks on his hands for a while. That hair is mostly back, although it's still a little bit not. He had a side of his body that is shaved because they had to put some kind of patch on it for some reason. That's kind of growing back. And then they shaved his tail, but only from like the base up to like 3/4 of the tail. And so he's got a big pom-pom poof because he's kind of a medium long hair cat. And so the tip of his tail has its normal length. And then the rest of the tail is at this point still very, very short hair. And so it kind of looks like a truffula tree when he like walks around if his tail is up. And he looks very silly.
Do you have pictures, or do you want me to pull one up? Because I think I've saved them because they're so funny.
If you have
They
one saved,
are-
please pull it up.
So
I'll try to
funny.
find it.
They're so funny. He looks, and there's one of his like shadow that's iconic.
The shadow
Okay,
one's
the,
great.
the shadow one I'll pull up in a minute, but right now I have him in the cone and shaved. Just sorry for the glare, but there he is in his cone, very
Oh my
sad.
God.
And there's his little poof tail.
It's one of the best pictures I've ever seen.
Here's another picture. Shelby came in with a photo. I just have to hang on, look at the zoom window to make sure that my camera is framed. It's not. There he is. It's just ridiculous what they did, but medically necessary. He's an ankylosaur.
Let me find the shadow one.
That's very funny.
Oh my god. Okay, I got it.
Well, if
gonna be horrible
he's an
glare.
ankylosaur cat, could Alex fight it with a spear?
Oh, I know I can. I know from firsthand experience that I can take Al in a fight.
Alex has fought Al with a blanket.
It's very easy.
A spear. A spear.
I bet if you put a blanket over an ankylosaurus's head, it would also be very confused.
I would agree with that.
I bet it would too. I also I want to share the thought that came into my head earlier that I was cracking up about was that they tried to initiate a similar 3-strike system in baseball, where 3 strikes and you get your urethra widened, and it was very unpopular.
Okay, I want to answer a question.
Horrifying.
Instead of talking about that.
Yeah.
I am going to make us answer other questions and move on to different topics if it kills us.
So who I assume is Ben Seepser, B Seepser in the chat here, says, I've been contemplating going to SVP, but as a layperson, I'm nervous about how accessible it is to non-paleontologists. What do you think about lay attendees? I encourage you to go. If you're like a real paleo enthusiast, definitely feel free to go. The only thing I would caution is and this is my general advice to even younger students, because it's always kind of tough, is definitely expect that for SVP, or that SVP for a lot of paleontologists is a mixture of a networking event to make new research connections and an opportunity to hang out with our friends. And so it is definitely hard sometimes to kind of get your foot in the door with even just group conversations or whatever that are going on, because it's when I see all of these fools at a conference, I like to hang out with them. I definitely try to make time to meet with people who are trying to find graduate programs or who want to talk about research interests and all of that. And it's a thing we all as professionals try to be cognizant of. So I guess just don't be surprised if you go and you find that for lack of a better term, it kind of feels like your first day being at a new school. But anybody who registers is welcome to go.
Yeah.
The only other thing, I guess, and if you've been watching Skeleton Crew videos, this probably isn't a problem anymore. But the talks are definitely not intended to be public-facing talks.
No.
They're very specialist talks. Yeah.
These are technical talks.
They're very interesting. I would say that if you are an enthusiast, a layperson, etc., if you want to go to SVP, you're certainly more than welcome to, and definitely keep in mind what has been said. It is also generally fairly expensive, and so if it would require you to spend a ton of money to register and travel for the experience, I would not recommend doing it just for SVP. If you were going on vacation to where SVP was anyway, and you wanted to do it,
or if
maybe,
you live there,
and that's a personal thing, right? If that's resources you want to expend, by all means, go for it. But just kind of have manage your expectations in terms of that. I probably would not want to go to. I think astronomy is interesting. I would probably not pay thousands of dollars to go to an astronomy conference. But your mileage may vary.
It's not, and just kind of to echo earlier points, it's a technical conference. It is not Paleo Comic-Con. There are other conferences that are, I think, slightly kind of more, I don't want to say because SVP is fun, but I think there are other Paleo conferences that might be more fun for the general public, that are still serious scientific conferences that have a public facing element, like Dino Fest, for example, right? That's a popular one.
Yep. So that's there's more of these kind of in between ones. I'd really recommend going to one of these smaller in between ones first. So Paleo Fest, Paleo Fest is at the Burpee Museum in Rockford, Illinois. Very, in my opinion, very good kind of in between. Like the talks aren't like dumbed down, but it's very much a public outreach kind of event. And it's a bit more, I would think, more fun for someone who's not an academic. Dino Fest is the one in LA, I think. Chicago started doing one. Like
No,
they all
I think
have
Dino
various.
Fest is in Utah.
Okay,
They're all
well, there's
named
some...
in the same way.
there's always a
various
fest
fests.
and a dino or a paleo somewhere. But anyway, my point stands. Like a lot of these museums, especially like recently, have started doing this. And these are typically less expensive, more accessible, and there's a little bit more to do at them. Usually, sometimes the activities are like more geared towards kids, but like the talks are not. So I would recommend checking one of those out. And if you're like, yeah, I really dig this, like, go for it. Go to SVP. But yeah, like we've said a couple of times, like the thing to keep in mind is SVP it's work for us, literally. Like it's a work conference. It is not a Comic-Con. There is a vendor room usually, but it's nothing like I don't know, like the one in the UK. They have a different DinoCon? Is that what they call it now?
Or you mean
that one has
TetsuCon?
Formerly TetsuCon. I think they
formerly
changed it.
TetsuCon. Yeah, so yeah, they changed it to DinoCon. But that one, to me, I've never been, but that reads much more to me as a focus, having a focus on the art and the vending.
Yeah,
and
like a big outreach event.
Right. Well, I mean, I would say, I mean, there is some outreach, but like it's more of a typical convention kind of thing. Where even like the talks aren't always research. Like sometimes there is a lot more like media focused things and stuff like that. That's been my read of it from the outside. But that's kind of very different from, like, to use Paleo Fest as an example, or Kevin in chat mentioned Permian Fest, which is in Seymour, Texas, which also highly recommend. It kicks ass. That museum and that event is awesome. I've been now twice. We're the only two that there's been. Yeah, like those. Well, Permian Fest actually has a pretty killer vendor tent, but that's more the exception than the rule in these things typically. Like there's going to be some of that there, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
anyways.
like there's not like a lot of merch to buy or anything usually. Like
There is usually a couple of artists selling stuff, which
depends.
is they sell very cool stuff. It does depend year to year.
Yeah, I actually feel like last year was like kind of remarkably low in terms of the number of vendors that were there. Not saying nothing of the quality, they were all great, but it was just like it felt like a fairly small vendor set. No, I mean, I certainly didn't go to any of the public facing conferences before I started going to SVP. Like my first SVP I went to when I was 19. You know, I found it very like
Same.
And I mean, like, giving, I guess, Amelia some credit in terms of talking about me as a socially intelligent person, I found it very like socially tough. But that was because, again, it's the first day at a new school kind of feeling. It's like everybody here knows each other. It's like, how do I kind of like make friends with people who have known each other for a long time while they're kind of hanging out, and try to talk with them on like kind of intelligent terms about dinosaurs.
Me.
Well, I found you at Salt Lake or at Albuquerque.
Oh, that wasn't your first one,
That
right?
was not my first one. But yes, the usual answer is you find somebody in a similar career stage, you latch yourself to them, and you start writing all your papers with them and start a YouTube channel with them. And and aren't you glad you ran into me in Albuquerque, Alex?
Those, absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, it's like, and it's something that you are going to deal with in your first conference anywhere. Like, it's just kind of like you're breaking into a kind of a social circle that you want to be a part of. It's always tough. It's just part of it. I don't think there's any issue with necessarily going, as long as you're not kind of like, as long as your expectation isn't like that it's Paleo Comic-Con, and that you're like kind of cognizant that it is going to be a work conference for a lot of people, and so like you kind of just have that expectation in terms of like, you know, how easy is it going to be to pin down like a paleontologist who you really want to talk to or pick their brain. It's like, and some people are much easier to get in that way than others. It's like, I don't think he'd have a problem with me saying this. I think Jim Kirkland is potentially the easiest person to talk to on the planet.
Yes.
If you ask him any question, he will happily chat with you forever like your old friends. He's a great guy. Jim's a fantastic man.
He'll
And that's
show
just
you
the way
his
that he is.
cool Cedar Mountain. He'll give you a Cedar Mountain handout.
He will, yes. Yeah, you'll get literature.
That's a threat.
It's great. It's great. You know, just knowing that. The only other thing I would say, and this is like my general advice, there's two pieces of general advice about things not to do at your first SVP. Okay? One, don't disobey any author requests about whether or not you tweet or share on social media anything in their talk.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Okay, like if you go to SVP, you are gonna get a sneak peek at unpublished research. That is what is usually presented there. You kind of got to keep that to yourself, or like within professional only circles. Like you're not generally supposed to talk about in any level of detail what was in a talk until that material is published. And that's like, not everybody requests it, but if they request it, you should do them the courtesy of listening to that. I don't presume that would be an issue for anybody in the chat. I'm just saying, like, this is something that many people don't realize is a faux pas. So don't do that.
And I would advise to lean toward, like, assume it's embargoed unless they say otherwise, or unless they say this was published a month ago. Like, just, and it's part of, like, so if you do go to SVP, you might get a physical version of the abstract book, or you'll get it emailed to you. And like on the first page, there's a whole list of rules basically, and one of those is an ask to not talk about the contents of the presentations outside of the meeting. So while you're at the meeting, you can talk to people however you want. Like that's kind of the point of the meeting, is to talk about the unpublished stuff. But after that, unless like you know that it's been published or you have explicit permission from the author, like it's better to assume that you can't talk about it.
Yes, and I think there's a comment in chat, like I don't want to even go into specifics about the thing, but there is a fossil that keeps leaking online because people aren't respecting the request to not talk about it, or not even not talk about it, but like not share pictures of it.
No, and that I need to be really mad about that for a minute, because having been to that lab where it is. So I was teaching a summer camp for the Sternberg science camps, which if you're in high school and interested in science and research and paleo, you should absolutely look into. And for this one, we did a little field trip to this paleo lab, and the fossil that you're not supposed to share, you are allowed to take pictures of it. So the person who's responsible for that fossil is actually very open about it, because the primary goal of that lab is a public outreach center. It's in a very underserved part of the community. That person goes out of their way to include people who would otherwise not ever see fossils like this. And it's very special for them to get to see this. And the one ask is not even that you don't take pictures of it. You're allowed to take pictures of it, is that you don't share it. That's it. Like you are trusted with this very special thing and with that responsibility. And it drives me kind of crazy, because like most people who are outside of paleo, this isn't a problem. It's a problem that I've seen with the paleo oriented folks that get very, very super excited to be on the special secret about the special animal. And then they share it online because they get attention for it. And I think that's why, because the audience of that lab, I wanted to say clientele, but they're not paying anything. The audience of that lab, the typical people that come through that lab, like, are not paleo at all. They're not in these circles. They're not getting, like that. They're just not plugged into this community. It doesn't matter to them. What's more important to them is they've had this amazing opportunity with a real scientist to see a real unpublished secret thing. And that means something, to be trusted with that information. And it really bothers me when people like break that trust, when it was made so clear and was really a reasonable thing. It's such a reasonable thing to ask. I've seen some people say, well, then they shouldn't let anybody photograph it. No. Listen when someone asks you, don't share.
Also, real quick, sorry to interrupt you, Amelia. Let's not muse about what it is in the chat, please. We're talking about how we don't want to talk about these things. Don't talk about what we're trying to say. Don't talk about in the chat. Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the people that we're talking around talking about. Please. Okay?
Yeah. If it, I'm sure you know what it is. And I'm sure you know where it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amelia, sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's all I wanted to say. It's like
Milo, stop it.
So that's all really I wanted to say is that it bothers me that that kind of trust is violated because I really respect what that person is trying to do in that community.
Yes.
And with these fossils, like it's I don't know. Some folks, have other opinions, but like it really bothers me, and it ties into kind of a broader problem in this community that I don't want to get into because it'll bring the whole chat down. About embargo not being respected for stupid reasons, even when it's explicitly asked, and made pretty crystal clear, when you're not supposed to share things.
And like I've got some experience with this too, because like my postdoc research at the North Carolina Museum, like the dueling dinosaurs are in a public facing lab. They are being prepared in front of the public. There is a 24/7 live stream camera pointed at a specimen that is not yet described. This is a very, very odd situation to be in, because this is a very unusual level of public accessibility for an unpublished piece of material. And one of the like defining goals of the Dueling Dinosaurs lab that was built is to try to improve our ability to communicate science as it's happening to people by like letting the public literally walk into the lab space and talk to scientists. When I was down there like manning the table where I could talk to the like people going by, a lot of people assumed we were actors who were hired by the museum. I guess because we were relatively sociable, but I think honestly because like they actually didn't even think we were being honest, that the idea was you can come talk to scientists. Like it's there's kind of a tension there between we want to let people in to the process and see things before they're done, see how the pie is made. Or the cake is made. I don't know what the idiom there is.
Isn't it the sausage?
Sausage, right. Listen,
everyone knows how the pie is made. It's the sausage that's a mystery.
The script that I just wrote for a video that I hope to be able to release soon is 19 pages long after I've deleted 66% of what I had written over the last few days. My brain is melting out of the base of my skull right now. I apologize. Jokes come in threes. Yes. Sorry, guys.
Everyone laugh at him.
Laugh at me.
Everyone point and laugh.
So the Dueling Dinosaurs exhibit is really, really special, but like obviously there's a tension there of like what's the degree to which we will hope people aren't sharing images of this thing in a way that we don't want, or like, not trying to publish on a specimen that we're working on because they're able to access pictures of it because they could go into the exhibit and take a photo on their phone. Like, and it's obviously an animal people want to talk about. That's all I want to say, right? It is like, this is an area where I guess the fan community does need to try to engage on kind of like the terms that researchers would like, because like this is a situation where people not acting right will reduce trust and mean that the end result is not something anybody wants. Right? I personally, as an online content creator, would love to be able to make like weekly update videos about research that we do. I would love it if that were a thing that we could do. It would be so easy. That's what we're working on anyway. But imagine a world where the skeleton crew could be like, me in an airport being like, okay, well, I'm flying out to work on the Utah Raptor mega block right now, and I'm like, ooh, I've just noticed this trait on Utah Raptor that nobody's talked about before. I think it might mean this. We're not at a point where I can do that, because I would love to be able to do that, but the point we're at is not my ability as a content creator or our ability as a content creator. It's our ability to trust that will not lead to us being burned in some way professionally. And so I think this is something where like I trust our viewers to always do the right thing. I didn't just say a spoiler. It's open knowledge that I'm leading the description of the Utah Raptor mega block with Jim Kirkland. This is stuff Jim has said this on Facebook many times. So this is
and sends emails.
And he tells everybody he meets that
Yes.
James is working.
True.
Within, I think, 15 minutes of picking him up at the airport a couple months ago, he asked me about the block and James.
The block.
the block. Yeah, I
And-
can't.
and-
Nobody
yeah.
can do an impersonation of Jim though, because he doesn't
No.
sound like any other human being.
So
And
I do want. I want to
Jimbo's
interrupt.
the
And now
only
we've
person
had
working on it.
Alex is also there.
Yep. We've had a person ask about it, so I
Sorry,
want to
yes.
talk about it. The real impact, why embargo is necessary, and the real actual impact on our careers of why we ask for people not to share things. It's not because scientists want to keep all the secrets to themselves.
Right.
It's because not everybody in academia is a good person, and some people will steal your research and try to publish it for themselves. And because those people are bad people, they also don't care what kind of journal they publish it in. So typically scientific research takes years, literally years. And sometimes even like once the research part is done, the publication process takes months to years. It can take forever to get it out the right way. So to submit it to a journal that is real, that does peer review and double checks everything and formats it and makes it all nice and yada, yada, yada. If you are a bad person and you're stealing someone else's research because you want it attributed to you, you don't have to publish it in a real journal. You can publish it in a predatory journal, which is basically pay to play. You pay them an amount of money and they publish it, and that's it. And it's over in a couple weeks. And so you can very realistically, for example, go to SVP and see someone else's work and then write it up as your own. You can go to other like talks at regional conferences, student talks, whatever. Take pictures, write it up as your own, whatever. Not that I would do that, given that I'm not a terrible person, but it happens frequently, more frequently than it should. And so we try to do everything we can to keep that from happening because I don't know, I don't want someone else to take my work and pass it off as their own. That defeats the whole purpose of me doing my job. So that's one thing that can happen. The other thing, which most folks don't usually think about, is the kind of like journalism side of it, literally. So some scientific journals are more strict than others about whether or not they will publish research that has been talked about elsewhere. If the embargo has been broken on a given study, they might not pick, they will just straight up reject your paper because it's not unique, it's not novel enough, it's not special to them, because they want that too. Because if they have a paper that's very special and going to get a bunch of attention, they want to have that to themselves. They want to have priority. They want to be able to run the press on that and get the attention and all the other benefits that come with it of that research. But that doesn't work if someone has already spilled the beans. If it's already out, it's not special anymore. It's not novel anymore. So those are just two examples of very real, tangible impacts on our career that, you know, a random paleo enthusiast, for example, might not think about when they screenshot an abstract from SVP and publish it or post it in a Discord. Not that that happens. But anyways, so this is like, those are two examples of why embargo is important and why you don't break it. Like it has real impacts on our careers. It doesn't matter to that extent to folks who engage in this field not professionally, because they don't typically see this side of it. And that's something I'm proud of that we're doing with this channel in general, is just lifting the lid a little bit on the more professional side of this field. Like, I haven't seen any other content creators to this extent talk openly about the nuts and bolts work side of what we actually do. So yeah.
Right. It is yeah. And I just want to like say again, because I got distracted by Torvosaurus shenanigans, and I'm sorry, Amelia. Did you mention the idea that or the fact that journals will occasionally retract papers
Yes.
if they have leaked early?
Yeah,
you were
I
talking
did,
about
but
that.
you can
Okay.
elaborate.
Well, no, I mean, I don't
know
want to
more
elaborate.
about
It
it
hasn't
than I do.
happened to me, thankfully. So
No, I'm just saying. I know you
Yeah.
know more about it than I do. I mentioned that they would, I guess, retract rather than reject. I said retract, but yeah.
Yeah, no, like a rejection is one thing. Like journals will usually say like, we're not going to publish something that's been published elsewhere. That used to be more draconian than it is now. It used to be that big journals like Science and Nature would not accept or would not consider manuscripts that had been presented as SVP abstracts, because that was like, people know about this, the kind of
Oh,
the embargo
man.
has been broken. Right. So that is not the case anymore. And also the rise of preprints have kind of forced a lot of these journals to reconsider this policy. So now most journals explicitly will have a policy about, like, will we take something that has previously been up as a preprint? Some will not, most do. The major journals all do. So you're allowed to preprint your work and then submit it for publication to a high impact journal, because they don't consider that to be a publication. Right? But yes, sometimes, let's say that you have a very exciting paper going through the pipeline at a high impact journal. You might worry about people leaking your results before the paper's released, because sometimes at the last minute, if journalists start reporting on your research, the journal will say, you know what, we're not actually going to publish that anymore. We've lost the momentum. We're not getting the boost from this that we wanted to get.
Paleo Nerd asks an interesting question about that, which is, what about when a news article about a paper publishes early, which this happens actually fairly frequently, is that, typically, like right before a paper is published, it's about to come out, and the journal and various institutions will want to make some like news articles about it to publicize, hey, this new article's come out, and this is what it's about, and they'll solicit some opinion from the authors, usually some opinion from someone else. And there will be all kinds of news articles. And there is ostensibly a press embargo that lifts once the paper's published. And then the journal's like, okay, the paper's published. Please, everyone come talk about it. Every once in a while, one or two like news agencies will accidentally break that embargo. For some miscommunication happens. There's some misstep in the path, and an article might come out like a few hours to maybe a day before it's supposed to. That's okay. That is like, it's not good that it happens, but there's an understanding that that's a mistake that can happen. And when that does, that is, I guess I assume a conversation between the news agency and the journal. That's not involving the scientists at that point.
And usually
and like
the authors will be
sometimes-
like, hey, this is going to be out in 2 days. So like, just like public, like if that happens, the authors will be like, yeah, this is going to be out soon.
Yeah, it's usually having had it happen to a little bit of an extent with Yorkie. There was a miscommunication about when the paper would go live versus when it was technically like embargo was lifted. So Yorkie went up, I don't know, maybe 10 in the morning, but I was told by the journal that embargo lifted at noon. So even though someone had been refreshing the journal homepage because they knew it was going to be published that day and saw that it was published and shared the link and got everybody talking about it, I couldn't talk about it for 2 hours because I had been explicitly requested by the journal not to do that. And given that I wanted to publish in the journal again, I didn't want to not respect that, because it's easy for me to not tweet for 2 hours, like whatever, so, but like it's usually like sometimes they give you a time of day that the paper goes live and sometimes they don't. And sometimes the news journals have that and sometimes they don't. Like, so that's where like a 48-hour window of confusion can occur.
Yeah.
But like, that's not the same as...
I think Duonicus leaked about a week early. That was the
think
most
so, yeah.
extreme one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that must have been an error on the journalist's part, where like maybe they had the date wrong or something like that in their calendar.
Yeah.
They scheduled their piece to go up and clicked the wrong day on the calendar. Because that was pretty extreme. But I felt bad for the researchers with that. They were clearly pretty upset, and by the time the paper was actually out, nobody was talking about it anymore.
Yeah, I totally forgot that happened. Jeez.
Yeah. And like when like the wrist paper that Alex and I wrote came out this summer, that I remember I got the notification that we would be releasing on, I think it was Wednesday the 9th or something like that. And it was like 11 a.m. This is when it releases, and that's what we calibrated all of our press releases for, and thankfully everything went swimmingly. Right? Usually it's fine. But this is the this is the stuff that we think about here, and it's why embargo matters to us. You know, we unfortunately can't leak results of papers early. I would love it if we could do the kind of like, we are scientists, we will work. I would love to just like live stream while we're working on specimens or something, but we can't do that. It's like in the abstract, that's a cool idea, right? You know, you set up like, you know, me and Alex go visit the block, we set up some cameras, we just live stream while we're talking about everything, but we're not
We
gonna
lay out the candles and prostrate ourselves in front of the block.
the block take
It would, yeah.
Wait,
I mean,
Henry
honestly,
Kissinger's going to be revivable in Jurassic World Evolution 3? What?
wow. You have to go to the island from Rebirth where it's
It's the worst one.
It's the worst one. God, that would be just the absolute funniest thing on
That's
the
so
planet.
funny.
They go to the island and it's nothing but a field of Henry Kissinger.
Wait,
right.
guys, something very important's happened.
By far the most
What?
What?
Oh no,
raptor is its
Babies?
children!
Baby
Child.
velociraptor.
Yes.
One of our interpreters loves to carry a replica.
Oh,
to
it's
show
little feet.
Look at him.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
That's tremendous. I love that.
Oh, he's a baby.
It's
That's
a
so
shame
cute.
that we've never found a
We have
baby
no idea what a
velociraptor.
baby dromaeosaur looks like, but you know, I choose that it looks like that.
Hey, don't we kind of have an idea what a small dromaeosaur looks like?
From?
There are, what do you-
Bambi
like
raptor?
small.
I was about to say, isn't Bambi Raptor
Baby Raptor's
supposedly
a juvenile.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
it's like half grown. Like I'm saying,
Okay,
like baby.
Okay, I wasn't sure how grown Bambi Raptor was.
It's probably about half. It's certainly young.
But I mean, yeah, like fresh out of the egg, little dude, like this. Oh my god, they're so cute.
I like
I
it.
love
I like
that.
the flickering. I think this is just my graphics card struggling with the stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
it
they're
doesn't
moving
do
so
as much on
fast,
my
they're
end.
phasing out of reality.
Two Adams
Alex,
pig.
I want to
Yeah.
inform you that Shelby has told me that she's watching the stream, and when you talked about being able to take Al in a fight, he looked up and squinted at her.
Good, I hope he remembers.
Also, Shelby James says, excuse me, strike that or reverse it. I'm Willy Wonka.
All right,
James
there.
Shelby has said that you're a fake Italian because you didn't remember that the idiom was about sausage and said it was about pies.
That's
That's
fair point.
so funny.
That's very funny.
That was like in the clip of my brain for jokes. I had like loaded that in, and I'm like, no, that's all right. Very cool.
I
man, I wish
cannot express to any of you how tired I am right now.
All right.
Oh, thank God. We're going to have baby Apatosaurus by the time this stream ends.
Hooray!
You were giving the delivery on that was almost Bill Clinton-esque, like the you wouldn't believe how tired I am. Good stuff.
Oh, the morphological trends question. No, this is interesting. I did want to answer that. I completely forgot. Thank you, Nathan, for boosting it. Morphological trends in tyrannosaurs are probably what you'd expect. I would guess that their arms are probably going to keep getting smaller. Maybe not that surprising. Like, we never get to abelosaur levels where they're like basically non-functional vestigial organs, which obviously means they were used for display. But it like, I think tyrannosaurs could get there. They seem to have like some level of function left. We just don't know what that function would have been, if anything. I don't think they would keep getting bigger because T-Rex is basically at the dimensions where all like normally built terrestrial theropods top out. And so I think you're probably basically the largest you can be at that point without like a fundamental change in body plan. Like Spinosaurus is probably dimensionally larger, but it's probably swimming quite a lot of the time. That's my morphological trends answer. Were there other questions we didn't get to yet? I'm sure there were.
And if we didn't answer a question you had, it's because we don't like it.
Alex.
Joking. No, it's because we didn't read it.
I can kind of blanket respond to in in a manner that we did earlier to some of the questions I've also seen of just like, are you gonna watch or react to X, Y, Z piece of paleo media? We're still figuring out how we're going to do watch along and reaction sort of things. We still want to do them, but we are figuring out how, in what shape and form that is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, misconceptions within the paleontology community that we haven't brought up before.
Within
Stay
the
tuned.
paleontology community,
Misconceptions?
Cracking neck. That the fossil record is an ecological signal. Sorry, what?
I'm trying to think. It's that we haven't mentioned yet is the hard part for me.
Well, some people are new here. They might not have heard us complain about the same things over and over and over again.
True. Have we? Someone's also asking, have we considered covering paleontology books?
You know, I
think
hate.
we have.
I kind of hate to say it, but and I don't know if this is true for anyone else, but I barely read them. Right, like
Yeah,
I
I
imagine,
usually haven't.
and it's not like because I don't think they're. It's just like I don't know. Most of them are talking about stuff you already read in a paper, or you like to know the person who wrote it, and you're like, oh, that's good for them.
I think it's just more for me. I'm like, I don't think that's a bad idea. It could be interesting to do. I just don't know what it would look like logistically, like what the format of the video would be, kind of how that would work. It's also just a little trickier in terms of kind of coordinating all of us. You know, if we wanted to talk about a book, I'd want to read it, and I just, despite no longer being in the throes of the end of a PhD, still have little time for reading.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I try to read when I do make time to read. I try to read things that aren't what I like do for work. That's, you know.
Yeah, I like to read my fiction. I like to read my stories.
His stories are on.
And like I read a lot of nonfiction, but like I mean, my favorite thing to read is history. Usually, like I read like a lot of fiction in general, but when I don't, I'm generally reading like biographies or books about particular events or places or things like that. Like I
About
just
men
haven't...
who died on mountains.
What?
Reading books about men who died on mountains.
Listen, it's always a fun time. All I'm saying is that like I think we all kind of agree. It's like, you know, the paleo books are usually not for us, and so it is hard to like. I usually get motivated to read them when I'm like, okay, I wonder what Steve Brusati said about this in this book.
Yeah.
Right, but like I'm not usually going to learn new stuff from those books because you know, they're for people who don't yet know a lot of this stuff. That's who they're written for. It's the same reason I don't watch. Well, no, it's a reason related to why I don't watch other paleo YouTubers. The main reason is my blood pressure.
Your enormous ego. I mean, yeah, it's your blood.
It's it's a frustrating. I actually don't read that much about World War II, just to be clear. I'm currently on like an 1870s to 1880s Gilded Age kick. I want to know.
Ooh, good period.
It's a great period. I like to know where it all went wrong the first time. It was tough times.
Ooh, well, there's a paleo book coming out in many years that I will be reading, and that's all you can hear about that.
Oh yeah. There was a question someone did ask, what do we like to read? In the time where we can read.
Well, Jimbo, you already kind of started an answer there, yes?
For what? Oh, what I do like to read? Yeah.
Yeah.
History, like I like historical fiction in general, but like history is just always something I've been very interested in, so I like to read a lot about history when I'm doing like more recreational reading.
I like to read. I mean, I'm fairly. I don't know. I guess I'm more discriminate than I used to be in what I read, but I like to read like fantasy and sci-fi. I've started reading the. It's not Mistborn. Why can't I think of the name of it? It's Brandon Sanderson.
Stormlight.
Yes, Stormlight Archive. I've started reading that. I'm enjoying it when I have the time. I find I mostly read when I'm in transit. So if I'm
Yeah.
like on a plane or a bus or a train, I like to read on that. But I like most things that fall in the very broad genre of like fantasy, sci-fi, horror, kind of fun fiction. And then I've read a lot of Star Wars books. I think, I like to grant everyone the grace of, you get one franchise that you can have true, just kind of unfettered devotion to in this capitalist world. Mine is Star Wars, and I've made peace with that. And so I've read a lot of Star Wars books. Many are good. And in fact, a lot of the newer Star Wars books are pretty good. Some are not as good. And this is just going to happen.
I'll read most anything. Most anything as long as it's good. It's similar to my taste in movies. There isn't like a specific genre that I really like hone in on of like, this is my jam. But like recently I've read some fantasy. I read a really good just one-off like fantasy book a little while ago called Blood Over Brighthaven, which I really enjoyed, and it kind of made me like just really want to read more one-off fantasy things because I feel like a lot of the reason why I'm kind of pushed away from some sci-fi and fantasy is because like it seems like every other like story that comes out is like, well, start at book 1 of 28, and it's like I don't have time for that. I just want to read a story. And Blood Over Brighthaven was very, very good. I That's by M.L. Wang, and then I also read One Italian Summer, which I guess was kind of like a like fantasy realism sort of thing.
Man, I wish Italy was real.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's this magical land called Italy, where basically the soft premise for that, like the not soft, the quick premise for that one is
Look at him go.
after a woman goes through a very traumatic series of events in her life, she decides to go on a trip to Italy to find herself, sort of thing, and then runs into her mom when she was her age. And gets to go on a vacation with her mom when she was her age, and it's really good. Actually, I super enjoyed it. And then there's a couple others. There was a Western I read a little while ago, The Heart in Winter, which I was all right on. There was This Thing Between Us, which is a horror novel, which I was again all right on. Something in the Woods Loves You. I need to go back to that one. That one's kind of
Ooh.
like, what?
I'm confirming that Armida is watching the stream.
Oh gosh. Why? What happened?
It's fine. It's just, I want to see if that changes James's stream performance.
Thanks.
But yeah. So those are the things that I've been reading recently. But I've been in a little bit of a slump recently, and I need to. Oh my God. Yes, I talked about Song of Achilles before, and it broke me. Yeah. I need to reread that. But yeah, I gotta get back into reading. It's been a hot minute since I've picked up a book, and I'm missing it.
Books are good.
It's true.
Many people are saying this.
Amelia, what do you get up to reading?
The billboards on the side of the road. I don't have
That's
time.
true. You
to
got a
read
lot of
for
commuting.
fun.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Might I recommend audiobooks? They work for me.
I not when I'm driving. I can't focus. Like it's distracting.
No, that's I'm driving safe is important.
I haven't had free time to read things for actual fun in years. So
That's very depressing.
yeah. So when I do, I usually revisit things I've read before just because it's like less of an investment. But typically when I'm able to find time, it's typically more sci-fi than fantasy, but like just that kind of vague realm of things. When I did do audiobooks for a little bit to like fall asleep to, and those ones I really like, mostly like nonfiction kind of investigation type ones. So like, but like very specific like natural history relevant ones. So like I found myself reading a series, not an actual like series, but like multiple books about like I think it started because of The Dinosaur Artist, which is a book about the fossil trade, and some of the legal things that can happen if you don't do it properly. And then the other ones were there was a book called The Feather Thief,
I've read
which
that
is
book.
about
Very
a
good.
guy who ties fishing flies, and I'll leave it
That
at
sounds
that
really
because
cool.
it
Definitely won't make you mad.
insane. It's insane on so many levels, and then towards the end, you're like, okay, we got this figured out. We know what happened. Okay, and then I don't remember exactly what the final detail was, but there's just another thing where it's like, what the hell? Like, what's happened? Anyways, bizarre. But like things like that. There was another one that was about like arowana, like the fish in the aquarium trade, and like how people kill each other over them and stuff like that. Like just stuff like that. There was an orchid one too, where this guy was like breaking into like endangered orchid habitats to steal them to propagate them to sell them like
Huh.
orchid shows and stuff. Like I was on a kick of like that vein of thing, which was really fun.
The vets say we have to keep an eye out.
And I do like history nonfiction as well. Like I did as audiobooks, although I think the only one I managed to actually listen to was about the ship that went to the Antarctic and was stuck there for months because they timed it wrong or something. Which
We're
was
talking
also
about the
like,
Terror.
The Terror? Yeah.
is that the one that gets
It
stuck
was
in the ice?
years.
Was it? It was
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
1 year, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
No.
Yes.
That was
Well, so-
back when they were planning on having it get stuck for a year and then thawing out in the summer, and then it just didn't.
Mhm.
Hate when
Yeah.
that happens.
Which
Rip.
for me, like, it's the kind of thing that like I'm vaguely interested in Antarctica. So I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I knew nothing about it, which helped because I didn't know what was gonna happen. So when they were like, oh, it's getting frozen like, for another year, I was like, what do you mean it's frozen for another year? Like, how is this story written down? Like, how is there any record of this? There's no way these guys survive. And most of them do, which is insane.
Oh, then it definitely
It's
wasn't
not
the Terror.
Yeah.
No,
Also,
the Terror is
because
the
it was
Northwest
Endeavor.
Passage.
Yeah.
yes, it was
No,
also
that-
pointed out that this is Antarctic and not the
Oh,
Arctic.
you said
so that's-
Antarctica. Sorry.
Yes, sorry. No. But it was still a very long time that they were stuck in the ice. Yeah, that the Terror, I wound up reading about it later. Like
I need
on
to read that
Wikipedia.
book. I love the show.
It's
So
the show is. I don't want to say better than the book, but it's very good.
okay, but anyways, I can at some point try to find the name of the one, but no, it was the Antarctic. Because again, I'm more interested in that, than I don't know why, than the Arctic, but whatever. But that's what got me there. But anyways, there was a time where I was doing audiobooks, to fall asleep to, but I don't have an Audible subscription anymore, so that stopped.
Hey guys, I'm sorry.
Libby, it's
Baby-
free.
Baby Torvosaurus.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's very
Incredible.
cute.
Oh, he's got to go. He's got to run.
This is
I will
tremendous.
also again more earnestly. Jesus, he's going so fast. More earnestly plug a really great resource for audiobooks even if you're just a little curious about them for your like your own commutes or anything is Libby. It just works through your local library. You can register multiple library cards on it and check multiple libraries for books, and you can just get free audiobooks as long as you're okay with a wait, because people check them out like regular library books. So it's great. It's what I use. It's rad. I haven't paid for an audiobook in years.
Cool. I just,
This is just a beautiful, beautiful little critter.
Look
love
at
him.
him. Look at
Jimbo,
him.
is it a compsignate? No, I'm kidding.
Don't
We
start.
we don't entertain that here.
We do, this is not a hypothesis we give lip service to. I think there's been some questions that we've not answered. I saw one
Cool.
that's
I
what's
don't
your
like
favorite,
to read.
What's your favorite synapse? Oh, sorry, Alex. I'm sorry. I thought you'd already talked about what you like to read.
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry. It's just because you're the one who actually, I think, reads the most and tells us the most about what you're reading at the time.
Yes.
In
No,
non-streams. Go ahead, please.
It will be succinct. I like to read horror fiction. I like to read weird fiction. I like to read short story collections. Those are my faves.
Love a good short story collection.
Gun to my head, my favorite my favorite writer to read is still probably Thomas Ligotti. I think is probably one of the best horror authors to have ever lived. But there are a lot of good books. I don't always, I like their classics. I'm probably going to reread Moby Dick again soon because we're approaching the season. Yeah. I saw there were some book-related questions in the chat that I did want to get to. Dalton and I have both read the Galaxy Star Wars book thing. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, it's great.
A hoot. Was there another book question? Someone asked about a show or a movie about Blood Meridian, which, like, I mean, give it a shot. Most of it has to be like long static shots of desert and decay, and it can't just be like cringe. This is the most violent thing ever. Shoot, I was reading. You know what I've been reading a lot of recently are Delta Green manuals. Because I really want to run a campaign, but just don't have the time until I defend to do it. And yeah, someone in the chat is asking weird fiction. So yes, Lovecraft, but you can only read the entire collected works of that man so many times. So I've been reading more kind of recent...
And Alex knows how many times that is.
Yes. There's so many times. But yeah, so I've been reading... I've read the Annihilation trilogy, or the Southern Reach trilogy, I guess it's what it's officially called. I really enjoyed this book called The Fisherman that I recommend.
I was mid on The Fisherman. I thought it was okay.
Boo. That's fine, Scott. You're allowed to have your opinion.
It just didn't grab me.
Didn't fish you?
It didn't fish. Yeah. House of Leaves I always recommend, mostly because it's very funny.
That's high on my list.
It is also spooky, but like the first read through is like, this is a very spooky book and it's very unsettling. And then the second read through is, this is a very funny book. This is a book written by someone who hates academics. Because large sections of it are just like jokes about footnotes. Anyway, yeah, so I like to read books. And I wish I had more time. I'm anticipating a prolonged book hiatus. Until April, until I defend.
Why? What happened?
Thank you, Scott.
So, we should wrap up the stream soon. So I'm going to do something that will make everybody miserable, and I'm going to say, if anybody wants to send one last question, if it's an interesting one, we'll answer it. Otherwise, we'll end the stream.
Well, and
if you pique our interest...
And if anyone wants to send one last donation to go with their question.
Thank you, Dalton, for being better at this than me. And Scott. So yes, any last donations, please send them. I mean, you can still get the links there in the description of this as well. But yeah, if you pique our interest with the question, we might answer it.
You have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
How
4.
would you cook this Dinocyrus? I would braise him slowly in a low heat oven
Do you know
for a
videos
long time.
where they cook like the entire ostrich wrapped in foil over the fire? I'm just imagining an enormous
oh my
piece
god
of foil.
I'm still thinking about that video from a while ago that I saw, this like catch and cook thing of someone catching this enormous like channel catfish, and they had it flayed in the thumbnail in a certain way where it looked like this guy was cooking a Eurypterid, and I sent it to our chat. I was just like, what on earth is my recommendation serving me?
Oh, that's cool.
It was very good.
Oh wait, a Delta Green question?
That's certainly piqued someone's interest.
I would recommend it, and that's all. It's the best RPG I've ever read, or I DM'd my favorite campaign, and I wish I had taken more time to do it because I like to play with a very gentle hand in my group, because my friends almost always make actions that will result in total party kills. But I kind of wish I had been a little more strict about it. Delta Green's great. Delta Green's about covering up the unnatural and getting it. Like I think I talked about this on Discord. Offsetting the mental anguish of seeing horrors beyond man's comprehension by getting into by role playing screaming fights with your significant other, or like neglecting a beloved pet. It's such a fun game.
Can I pet that dog? Oh, look at that baby. I like the baby sauropod
He's
a lot.
small.
I also let's see, there was a question from Cretaceous Critter earlier. Yeah, how plausible would it be to get the entire crew to do a Compare Works fieldwork in May? You want to fund it? That'd be rad. you want to pay for us to do it?
Well, it's the NHA Muse expedition, so it would be that we'd just be going. We'd just have to pay our way, I assume. I spoke with the Cretaceous Critter about the possibility of at least me doing this when I was in Utah.
I didn't realize that this was an actual formal offer.
Yes, I believe this is a formal offer.
It depends, I guess.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. I mean,
seriously.
You see what you can do. I'll see what I can do.
Yes, indeed.
What
and
May
I
looks
also,
like.
I'm gonna probably, because I don't like to hike in incredibly rugged terrain, I'm gonna probably surgically implant the little repulsors that the Baron from Dune uses to float in my body, so that I could just float about 2 feet over the Kaparowitz formation the entire time.
I will say I'm interested. That might be kind of the month where then I have to get revisions on my dissertation back to my committee, so I don't know if that's something I could do in May, but thank you for the invitation.
I'd love to. Apologies for my flippant tone a moment ago.
All right. 4 out of the 5 of the skeleton crew will be invited to join. No, sorry. There was one question I wanted to answer, which is just, what do you think of the idea of bringing knowledge from other fields into paleontology? Always good. Just make sure you're talking with paleontologists. And this is not a specific comment at you. This is about people in general. This is something I encounter a lot when people know a lot in their particular fields. Is they say okay, I want to now tackle questions in this field. It's often something we've thought about before, and that sometimes it is a kind of a non-starter. So make sure you have the conversations with paleontologists that you need to have to make sure that you're going to bring your knowledge in the right way. That's it. And a common example of this is we talk to people all the time who work in the mining or petroleum industry who are why don't you use ground penetrating radar to find the fossils? It does not work.
Nope.
We just know it doesn't work. Right. We've tried. It doesn't work. Sounds good. Doesn't work. So it's just you want to make sure you're having those conversations to make sure that you're kind of not approaching it in the way of well, I know a lot about this thing and I'm sure this will be a huge gift to paleontology. Make sure it's collaborative. That's it. And but it's usually something we look upon very favorably in those contexts.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
Do you know it's hard? Do you know that a skeleton isn't a gigantic salt or oil lens?
I didn't know that. I thought dinosaurs were really big.
Well, you'd be surprised.
But anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for us tonight, because I just realized it's 12:30 a.m. So
I have to teach an 8 a.m. class.
Damn.
I'm sorry, Dalton.
Well, yeah, I got to be in fairly early tomorrow too. I'm going to Scott and I are both attending a wedding this weekend for one of our close friends.
Oh, fun!
I am the best man, as I'd always suspected, and I have to pick up my suit.
Are you going to give a speech?
I am going to give a speech.
Fun.
Yes. So I have to pick up my suit in the morning and get the final fitting done.
Yeah, I got to do that too.
Yeah. The speech is not yet fully written, but it's coming along.
That's all right.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching the stream. Thank you. If any PK devs are still in the chat, thank you so much for supporting the stream, raising awareness
Yes,
of
we
it,
really appreciate it.
plugging in. I noticed the concurrent view count like double as soon as you
Yeah.
helped us out there, and so we really, really appreciate that. And
And
yeah,
my DMs are open. I have a lot of ideas on cool designs, on dinosaurs and crocs that should be included in things.
but unlike Alex, when I publish a new dinosaur that should be included in the game, you'll just know about it.
Wow.
Sorry. But we could always chat. But seriously, it's wonderful, and we're really excited to do more coverage of Prehistoric Kingdom at some point on the channel. This is something we've talked about for years, and I think it's something we are definitely going to do in the future. We're still working on exactly the format that we'll do that in, but this is a game that I definitely want to play more of in a format on the channel. It was great streaming it now.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who's donated to the fundraisers during the stream. And if you,
thank you so much.
if you did, thank you. If you were waiting, do it now. If you, if you're not in a position where you can right now, totally understandable. But if you can share them, that's also very appreciated. I know that both had some growth during the stream, and that's what we wanted to see. So
Yes.
thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. We are just so happy that we are able to help out the paleo community in this way. It often feels like you're not doing that much, but money unfortunately does make the world turn. And when you are contributing in the way that you are through a fundraiser in this kind of context, you are directly helping a lot of people. And you're helping not only further research, but further people's careers and help keep people healthy and able to contribute to paleontology. And that's really all you can ask for. So thank you all so much for supporting these fundraisers. Thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for doing all that you do for the skeleton crew and for paleontology in general. The field is really grateful for having such wonderful supporters. So thank you all very much. And yes, we'll see you next time. We will come out of retirement soon. And we're going to do it with a backlog of videos so that we don't have to take a hiatus again for a while. Anyway, guys, we'll see you later. I am going to close the stream now in 3, 2, 1.